Hi everyone!
What's up everybody?
Welcome to another MSI Insider live stream. It's been a while for me.
You guys recognize this guy?
Mike?
It's been a while, he's aged.
Yeah, gray hair everywhere.
Yeah man, it's wow. Well, how long has it been actually?
Whew, I think a month?
Yeah,
something
but
like
something
that.
like that. So, where is the monitor? Guys, calm down.
We'll
get to that.
There's a monitor later.
We'll get to that. Let's talk first.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
I went skiing for the first time in my life.
And I remember when you went.
I didn't break
when
anything.
you went, unironically we said break a leg.
Yeah. Luckily I didn't.
But did you? Yeah.
No.
Okay,
Luckily I didn't.
Good thing.
I fell a couple of times, but I had some beers, so then you fall better than
well,
usually.
yeah, I remember this from when I went. I can't ski, I can't snowboard, so of course I started with snowboarding, and I have zero clue what I did. But what I did do, this was actually pretty good advice. They gave me a bunch of alcohol, you know, and so if you do fall, then you're a bit more, your body's a bit more relaxed, and so you tend to not get injured. Yeah, exactly, because most injuries actually occur if you fall, but because of the way that you kind of react, you know, your body reacts, and you kind of try to catch yourself, so that's how you break stuff, apparently. Anyways.
And usually I did the steeper slopes in the afternoon, so during lunch I could drink plenty, so I could just fall very smooth.
It was your warm-up?
Exactly, my warming up for the skiing.
Exactly. Nice. All
yeah,
right.
so I saw some people in chat already notice that we're going to talk about monitors today. And
really?
Well, usually when we talk about monitors, you would expect to see...
A monitor?
Also. But who would you see then?
Mr. Monitor?
Mr. Monitor. But where's Mr. Monitor? Ja.
And we've mentioned it during past live streams, of course, that Ja, daredevil that he is,
living on the edge.
Yeah, he went to China for Chinese New Year to see his family, which is normal for people from who have family in China. This is like a traditional thing.
I think in general it's quite normal for holidays that you go to a family.
Well, yeah, but you know, not everybody.
Not
for everybody. That means that you have to travel to pretty much the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, but you know, and then you know the whole thing happened with the virus outbreak or something. So yeah, it was also. I mean, we're not that worried, as in because we were in regular contact with him, and he would tell us that he was still doing fine and then nothing wrong. He was also not in the province where stuff went down.
Yeah. But I think overall of China, it's quite a big struggle now, and I think they closed a lot of companies down.
Yes.
A lot of factories down.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an issue. Yeah. Also, our factories, some stuff might be a little bit delayed because a lot of products are produced in China, and now of course because of the coronavirus.
Even a lot of resources, right? So even if
your factory runs, you don't have resources from other factories.
Exactly,
so
you still need resources or materials from other factories. So if
we also need the components to make the products. So.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a whole supply chain that kind of needs to get going again. So yeah, this is kind of new and not in a nice way, obviously. But what is nice is that Ja is actually back in the Netherlands now, and well, he's not here, obviously, in the studio.
He was supposed to be here today.
He was supposed to be here, yeah, but I mean, we had to quarantine him, obviously.
Yeah, for safety reasons, we caged him.
Yes, yeah.
In his own house.
Yeah, he's on, indeed, he's on, he can't leave his house or something like that. He's on quarantine. But he was able to join us through Skype. So let's see if we...
say hello to Ja.
Let's say hello. Let's see if I can find the right... Here we go. Hey!
Hello, Ja.
Hey, hello, guys. Hello.
How are you?
Well, I'm doing great, as you can see.
Looks pretty safe.
I obviously still have my mask from the travel and my time in China, but really happy to be back, even though I'm being kept... they've been
under house arrest?
Yeah. Let's say I'm grounded by the CDC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it's understandable that they just want to make sure that you're okay.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. But I also imagine it sucks.
Yeah, I know, it really sucks. I mean, I was prepared to come into the office and risk all of your lives, but
you were okay with that.
I can sleep with that.
Coughed in our face and stuff. Yeah.
You were prepared to take that risk.
But I decided, well, let me just follow the company guideline, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, and general safety guidelines, I guess, right?
Yes.
I think it's more of a general thing, not just MSI.
Yeah, especially if you have come from China right now, because it's really a hot topic. So preferably, just for your own conscience, you should stay away from people just to be sure.
And it's spreading fast, because can you maybe explain a little bit about the situation in China right now?
Well,
because we know a lot is closed.
In China right now, it's really bananas. You can't imagine how eerie it is to see empty streets and the public life just really coming to a it's been closed. The public life is dead. It's dead.
Because even outside of the region where
yeah. It's like the China in its entirety. It's just really going bananas, because a lot of you guys, you're aware of how big cities work, and people always walking outside.
Yeah.
And in China, you can imagine with that many people, the streets, it's always cramped. It doesn't matter what time it is. People will eat at 2 a.m. somewhere after a nice a nice night with the friends. But right now, it's really just everything is closed, and people are avoiding outside, avoiding people. To be
so it's like it became a ghost town, pretty much.
Yeah, and actually, people didn't do it voluntarily. I mean, the government basically just shut everything down. I mean, you want to be open as a business because you want to make money, but not right now.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I was really happy that I was back, and I made it back alive. So that's something.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, the thing is that it's strange that you hear some people being very reasonable, saying it's kind of it's like a normal flu in terms of mortality rate and stuff like that. But the scary thing is that this is actually it's an relatively unknown virus, so you don't really know yet what it's gonna do, and that kind of, I guess, makes it the unknown factor. Yeah. That kind of makes it scary, definitely. I guess, and it scares a lot of people.
It went like really fast.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, we're really happy that you're back, and also that you were able to join the stream. And we look forward to having you on the stream again.
Not too soon. Not too soon. Just that we're sure.
Come on, you're talking like as if I'm a guest. So, guys,
we're still a little bit scared
to all of you watching right now. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't be there right now to have some fun with you, but I trust in my colleagues Peter and Mike to do a wonderful stream right now for this pro gaming monitor. So I hope you guys really enjoy, and who knows, I'll see you guys soon next time, right?
Yeah, take care of yourself, dude.
Definitely.
We miss you.
And binge watch whole Netflix.
Yes.
Shit. Got nothing else better to do, right?
Skip anything about virus infections and stuff like that. Just toss a coin to your Witcher or something like that.
I shall do.
Hey, see ya.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining, and
cheers.
See you soon. Bye bye. All right, so just wanted to give Ja the opportunity. Also, he wanted to do this as well. Just say hi to you guys, because he
was looking forward to the stream. But...
Yeah, he was looking forward to it. Normally in the normal planning, he would have been here now. And I mean, monitors are his thing, his product group, obviously. So yeah, we'll see how good we can do filling in.
How well we can
him.
take over.
Well, filling in. Honestly, I don't think we can ever really replace him. And we shouldn't even try to.
I see you don't even have a grenade cup.
No, I have a different one. It's and I know. I got this one. I really like it. That's what I do. I drink and I know things. So it says. Game of Thrones, for those who know.
Yeah, I'd recognize the font.
Yeah,
I've never watched Game of Thrones, but the font is quite famous.
It's quite. It has such good writing, especially in the first few seasons. Anyway, yeah.
Before we start, we also have a nice giveaway today.
Really? Do we?
So if you go to msi.com/2/insider,
there we go.
You can join our Gleam giveaway. I know the bot in chat will once every 8 minutes or something, 6
maybe
minutes.
We have to activate it. Is it exclamation mark giveaway or something?
Yeah, I think that should work.
Let me try that.
and then the bot should also spam a direct link to the giveaway.
Oh yeah,
there we go. So make sure to sign up for the giveaway. We will give away several $20 Steam wallet codes. Later in the stream, we'll also play some Quake. So that's, for example, a game you could get, Quake Live.
Yeah. I mean, because we try to get a game which I suck at, and you are very good at. And
Peter is just not very good at gaming.
No, that's right. Yeah.
I proposed Rocket League, but then he got even more scared.
It's not my kind of game. I don't know what to say.
It's too fast for you. You got too old.
I suggested Counter-Strike. Ja agreed with me.
Yeah, but
you chickened out.
Too old and slow for the faster games.
Anyway, but you know, we wanted to choose a game that really can display the benefits of the monitor we have today, basically.
Yeah.
So,
talking about monitors, because you already touched a little bit about the monitor.
Did I spoil it?
But yeah, monitors are relatively new for MSI. Well, not extremely new anymore, but compared to graphics cards, motherboards.
Indeed. So monitors we've been doing for like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 years, approaching 3 years now, maybe. So
and
that's
motherboards
not
and
at
graphics
all
cards
long.
we've been doing for decades.
Exactly. So
it's a big difference.
Yeah, and so that's not long at all. In the we're still, we could still be considered a newcomer basically in the monitor market. However, I mean, considering how not long we are in the market, we've made quite a splash, I'd say.
Yeah.
And so that's something to be proud of, and also something that the team, both in you know, our engineers and everybody in our headquarters, all the colleagues that are helping to create these products and do everything around it, and also Ja, of course, who helps to do that. Hats off to you guys.
And we were even recognized as the fastest growing gaming monitor brand.
Yeah. What is the gaming? Maybe we need to specify. So a gaming monitor is, I think, specified everything above 120 hertz or even 144. I'm not sure.
I think, higher refresh, maybe like 100 plus. I'm not sure.
Something like that. So that, and I don't know, are there any other? It has to be RGB or something.
Well, RGB makes your monitor faster.
Not sure. Yeah. So I mean, what is gaming if not RGB, right?
Exactly.
And it has to have like a red shield on it. Weird.
With a dragon.
I don't know how they come up with these things, but
that's a real gaming monitor.
Just kidding.
But like the way we got there was through curved monitors.
Yes. Yeah. That's what we started with.
Yeah. And that's still the majority of our lineup are curved gaming monitors. And the cool thing about curved is that it really immerses you in the game. Yeah,
it's a big step towards better immersion, and it's just basically the next step, I guess. And for I think we've covered this before as well. You know, there used to be TVs with immersion as well, but in your living room you tend to walk around, so there curved actually doesn't really work that well. Yeah. Curved works best if you stay in one spot.
Right in front of it.
Yeah, because there's like an ideal spot where you get like the best viewing angle, and then it's like ideal for your eyes.
And it's also really nice with multi-monitor because you can really put them around
you. When you're sitting on at your desk, you tend to kind of sit in one spot, so that's actually ideal. So that's why it works quite well for computers, for PC gaming specifically. So and like you said, indeed. So if you want to go surround monitors, actually you can do multiple monitors, of course, which is a thing that we've done a lot as well. But you see these days more and more ultra-wide monitors as well, where you kind of course, it's not quite as wide as 3 monitors.
You can also use 3 ultra-wide monitors.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit extreme, but yes. Yeah.
It's next level.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I mean, you know, one ultra-wide monitor will even enhance that immersion a bit more. And so, you know, it's really cool to see these things. And it's let's just say, you know, we can explain to you all about how it works and blah, 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 but it's really something you have to experience and see if for you find it something that you like or don't like. So it's really a personal thing as well. But it's quite a nice difference to perceive.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's really dependent on what you play usually.
Yes.
Because curved is great for immersion, for AAA titles.
Yeah.
But from the market, we got more and more questions about competitive gaming, for example, and they tend to prefer flat panels.
Well, some of the most played games and hours spent in games are, of course, competitive games. You know,
grinding, getting better. And better,
but I mean, you can think about League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike, Fortnite. Can be considered competitive, I guess.
Could be.
But you know, you mentioned Rocket League earlier. So there's a hell of a lot of games which are FIFA even. You know, these competitive type of games where you really want to get the edge over your opponent, not just play through a story, but it's really about beating everybody else or helping your team beat the other team.
So instead of being immersed in the game, you're trying to be the best at the game.
Yes, and you will grab any advantage you can, basically, to help you achieve that, the win.
Yeah, exactly. And for immersion, it really helps if your monitor is very large. So, for example, you can see 32-inch, 34-inch, even bigger monitors, all to increase that immersion. But for competitive gaming,
you want things to stay within, like, you know, you don't want to have to move your head to be able to see, you know, what's going on in the edges. So that's where you will mostly see in competitive gaming.
You want to keep your head straight and see everything, basically.
In one overview. So that's also why you see usually in pro gaming or the more competitive scene that
relatively small monitors.
The big monitors are not usually found there. It's about smaller monitors. They will usually prefer flat panels and really, really fast response rates. And what is it? No, it's actually, I say it wrong. It's high refresh rates and a fast response rate. So it's
fast
like
response
low,
times,
high refresh rates, low response times.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that will give you the best competitive.
Well, then you feel that at least it's, you know, what you have in you, your PC is not going to be the bottleneck. You know, it's not. You will not feel like, damn, if only my PC was a bit faster, I would be able to beat this guy. So that at least makes sure that your PC is up to the task and it's purely you that can make the difference. And that's pretty cool. And you can even see a lot of really old school pros, you know, they will still even don't use the full, even if you have a full HD monitor, they will still
use the 4:3
and very low, like 720p or even lower resolution still, which can give a bit extra FPS maybe, or I don't know. They've got different theories about it.
And also to make it even smaller, so it's easier to grab all the information at once. So there are a lot of tricks to make. To give you a competitive edge over your opponent. So we got a request from the market if we could do something with competitive gaming and really focus on all the aspects that give you
advantages.
And the cutting
competitive
edge
advantages.
Yes. That give you an edge over your opponent in competitive gaming.
So of course we went into making cheat software. No, just kidding.
So we already had a competitive gaming monitor that's right in front of you, actually.
Correct. Yeah, it's the what we call the Oculux. So most of our other monitors are of a line which is called Optix. That's probably most of the monitors you find on the market are part of the Optix lineup. This is Oculux, and Oculux is, I think it was also the first monitor that included the NVIDIA Vsync module, right?
Yeah. In our lineup, that's indeed the first model. So you have the NXG 251R in front of you. So that's one.
I don't know if you guys can see it. It's also here. Also you can really see it.
G-Sync badge, exactly.
There you go.
So 240 Hz TN panel and 1 millisecond response time. After that, we also launched the Oculus NXG 252R.
Correct.
And that doesn't mean 2 milliseconds, but half a millisecond of response time. So it's also a TN panel. And now we're launching our third 240 Hz monitor.
And it's a pretty big step, right?
From 144 to 240? Or from that monitor to this monitor?
We already had 240, right? This one already did 240. No, I mean as in, it's you said, you know, this one uses a TN panel, and TN panels, especially for pros and people who care about high refresh rates and stuff like that, they will know that probably, at least for a lot of years, TN was kind of, well, it wasn't the only option, but it was the most
it was
common.
the way to go for competitive games.
Yes,
basically.
yeah. If you don't care about how it looks or color accuracy or something, you just want to focus on fast, and competitive edge.
Then TN.
TN. You know, there's really nothing that could beat it. VA panels were, well, it was a middle road, actually pretty decent.
Also getting faster and faster.
Yeah, but it did have some better visual quality as well, so especially in terms of contrast.
Yeah, so on VA, black is really black, and that also helps with the immersion. So that's why we also see that many of our curved monitors are based on a VA panel.
Yes, correct, yeah. But now it's, we even make a different step. And this might sound strange. When I first heard it, I also thought, wait, what? So we have an IPS panel or IPS grade panel. An IPS, for those of you who don't know, is well, basically known for having really accurate color reproduction in general. This is generalization, right? I mean, it can differ per panel, obviously, but really good color reproduction and
viewing angles.
Really great viewing angles. So even if you walk across the room, like almost you look at the screen and you can barely see it basically from the side, the colors should still be relatively okay.
The shift is way less than, for example, with the TN.
With the TN panel, usually if you walk to the side, for example, or you tilt the screen up or down, you will see the colors will look completely different.
Later on, I also have an example about this where you can really see it from different angles and how it shifts.
Yeah, yeah. So, and this is one of the main differences, but one of the things that IPS at least used to not be known for is to be fast. Or suitable for a competitive environment.
Exactly.
And that
so you saw it
is
a
now
lot
changed.
So you saw it a lot for photographers, for example. They tend to go for IPS panels because of the color reproduction, viewing angles.
Needs to be accurate.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But for gaming, they used to be relatively slow in the past.
Yeah.
And also the higher refresh rates were not available for IPS. Also because IPS panels were not fast enough in response time to shift the pixels fast enough for the high refresh rate.
Exactly. So it just wasn't practical.
No, it was not ready yet.
It wouldn't give you good results if you tried that. Yeah.
But that is now shifting.
Yeah, so that has changed, and that's really exciting because for a lot of people that's kind of breaking what they would see as, they kind of had this idea, as did I, for a long time, that okay, if you want fast, then in TN, and then the middle of the road, it's kind of VA, and then you got IPS, and that's nice for all the colors and stuff, but not really for competitive. And
it was like IPS is for photographers, video editors, and not for games.
Exactly, and now you really have to, well, it was difficult for me to kind of, at first at least, to really grasp the concept, but wait, IPS is now suitable? When did this happen? And of course, I kind of know,
Hertz, that
but it was still
strange.
Yeah, I mean, you don't tend to match these things if you've been in this market for a while and paying attention to it. So it's kind of getting used to it. And I wasn't convinced at first. I really had to see it with my own eyes. And then I thought, okay, yes, I can definitely recommend this.
I can already see some people in chat saying, show us the beast, guys.
The beast is actually already there.
It's in front of me. Yeah. But we also have a nice slide where you can see it from the front and also the name, because this one's called the Optix MAG251RX.
Yes.
So the name already says it a bit. 25 stands for the size of the monitor.
25.
So 25, 24.5 to be exact. So rounded off 25 inches.
Yes.
So it's a relatively small monitor nowadays.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the sweet spot for competitive gaming. So you see that the vast majority of competitive gamers, they choose for a very high refresh rate nowadays, preferably 240 Hz, in combination with 24 or 25 inches of diagonal.
Yeah.
Edwin's asking, is the lag better or the same as a VA screen? Later on, we actually have some benchmarks because Hardware Unboxed already reviewed this monitor as well, and they made a nice comparison. With their testing results in response time, in contrast, input lag, etc. So we'll show you a bit of an overview. And they also, in their testing, they compare it to several TN monitors and VA monitors. So there you can see a bit of the differences between the different technologies in those aspects. Here we have an overview of the Optix MAG251RX with the specs. So we already talked about IPS panel, 240 Hz, 1 millisecond of response time. It's also HDR certified, so that's from VESA. They have different HDR standards.
Requirements, indeed.
Exactly, they have certain requirements. And it's an HDR 400 panel. And the 400 stands for the minimum peak brightness that you have to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's nice. So that actually means that this monitor is HDR qualified.
Yeah. It's indeed an HDR monitor. You have
and you don't really expect. I mean, I didn't expect that for a competitive gaming monitor to be HD. I mean, it sounds like something that you would have on a, something you watch movies on, or maybe those more curved monitors for where you're just enjoying of the game. I don't know if it's really something you'd expect for a competitive game monitor.
It can make your game more beautiful, but the other upside of it is that because the peak brightness is so high.
Yes.
Also, if you're in a well-lit room, for example, you can also push your brightness quite high, so you don't suffer from sunlight, stuff like that.
Exactly.
So also in competitive gaming, it can actually benefit you that you have the high peak brightness.
So it is a relevant thing.
Yeah. So it's not just that it can make your game look prettier, it can also actually give you an advantage there.
Exactly.
A new feature, for MSI at least, is G-Sync compatible. So G-Sync compatible it's relatively new.
We've had it, I think, indeed for a while. Where basically it's NVIDIA who allowed monitors that are capable of the adaptive sync technology with what AMD calls FreeSync, for example.
So it's also a standard by VESA?
Exactly, it's also a standard. So a lot of monitors and the graphics cards can support this already, although it wasn't supported in drivers, for example, and that was needed for it to function properly. So NVIDIA also, they have 3 tiers of G-Sync, right? So they have G-Sync Ultimate, which is, I believe, G-Sync, native G-Sync plus, I think, HDR support and things like that. So it's really for the next generation, I would say, for upcoming and high-end products. Then they've got the regular G-Sync, which we've known for years, I think, right? And that's with a physical module. The monitor I have here.
Same goes for Ultimate, by the way. Also has a physical module inside the monitor.
Which allows for a lot more detail and a lot more control, but also makes it a bit more expensive usually in terms of the monitor because it needs some physical hardware inside of it.
And it comes with cost. So you will see differences in between a regular monitor or a VESA adaptive sync monitor or
a G-Sync version
monitor.
of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Also hardware-wise, it's just different in terms of cost.
And then there's, of course, the G-Sync compatible, which is what we have here, which is a monitor which doesn't need the physical G-Sync module, but can still enjoy the benefits of G-Sync. Exactly. But most of the benefits of a synced up display.
Yeah.
And not like Vsync, like a fixed sync FPS, but variable sync. So
the output of your graphics card in terms of frames per second will be matched to the refresh rate of your monitor.
Yes,
so the Hz and the FPS will be kept in sync.
Up. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that actually ensures that there is minimum or no tearing.
So if your graphics card outputs 150 FPS, then your monitor will automatically go to 150 Hz.
Yeah.
So then you have a perfect match, and that will give you the best,
really
smoothest experience.
Yeah, a really smooth experience.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see, we have some questions also about response time. We will go into that later because we actually have some of the graphs from Hardware Unboxed.
Where can I purchase this monitor in the UK? Not 100% sure, don't know off the top of my head, but you can go to MSI.com. There you have the product page, and underneath that, or at least somewhere on the product page, there should be a where to buy option. And you can select your country there, and if there are any official MSI retailers that have this monitor, this should be listed there. So hopefully this will help.
Continuing, because we already talked about G-Sync quite a lot in the past. G-Sync compatible.
We'll show you later on, by the way, if you want to know how to use the G-Sync compatible. Also, a lot of monitors these days can support it, even if they don't have the G-Sync module. So later on in the stream, we will show you where and how to activate it in the NVIDIA drivers.
It's just a very basic demonstration because it's really easy to set up, actually.
Yeah. And you can always try it. The thing is, it also shouldn't cause any damage or something. So there's really no downside to it. You can always try it. Monitors that are certified for it, like this one that we have today, will have, they will function guaranteed, and it will give no problems. There will be no issues.
This is also certified by NVIDIA itself, so it meets all their standards.
Yeah, it went through a certification process to be able to be certified officially. And some older monitors from before, when Vsync compatible was even in existence, they might still be able to support it, but it's always a bit of a risk. While there's no really a risk to it, the worst that can happen is that you find out it doesn't work well, and it actually flickers or something, or it gives visual artifacts, in which case you can just turn it off again and forget about it.
Yeah, so if you have a monitor with phase adaptive sync or FreeSync, you can just check it out.
You can try
switch it on, like we will demonstrate you later how you can switch it on in the drivers. You can see if it works fine. On some models, it can give flickering issues, stuff like that. If that's the case, probably best to turn it off. But it might work.
So it's worth trying. I mean, why not, right?
But here you don't have to try. On this model, it will work. It's certified, tested, exactly.
Yes.
Another very cool feature on this monitor. A couple of months ago, we had a live stream with our new portable monitor. You remember that?
Yeah.
And you can actually connect that using USB Type-C.
Right.
And that will give you a DisplayPort signal over USB. That's also present on this monitor.
Cool.
So for newer generation NVIDIA graphics card, they actually have the Type-C connector.
Correct.
That's not just to charge your phone.
No.
You can actually use that to get the DisplayPort signal to your monitor.
Yeah, it's actually a display output which you can use, and it's there aren't too many monitors yet. I mean, it will increase obviously. But it's not that common yet, I have to say, right?
No, it's not.
It's getting more common, but it's
now that NVIDIA included on our graphics card, it of course will be more common. I also expect in the future we'll probably see this from AMD.
It was already a bit more common.
I don't know, but I guess
it was already a bit more common in the let's say the professional scene, right? Creators or the people who do photoshopping and then that kind of stuff.
Because Thunderbolt now also goes over Type-C.
Yeah. So but really interesting. And so this monitor also supports that or has that option.
Or what you can also do is use the Type-C connector to charge your phone on your monitor, for example.
Yes.
So you can just
hook
it up with Type-C. So if you have Type-C to Type-C cable, and your phone needs to have Type-C then, then you can just hook it up to your monitor and use it to charge your phone. Because it also has a regular DisplayPort connector, 2 times HDMI 2.0. Later on, we'll also show you the connectors on the monitor itself. But that's also a new feature. I really like it because like so many things are being transferred to USB.
Yes.
USB Type-C to be exact. So you can use it on so many different things. You don't need 10 different types of cables. You just need a USB Type-C cable and you can use it for anything. So
it's getting more and more universal. So the U in USB is getting bigger.
It's indeed getting bigger. I think that's a good thing.
Well, that's why it's there, right? That's the whole idea of USB.
So in the end, hopefully we only have like one connector and you can connect anything with it.
Or even go wireless, who knows?
Also for some things that's still a bit more complicated, like especially if we're talking competitive gaming, esports. With wireless is getting better, but like display signals with 240 Hz, like the data transfer for that is...
I'm still waiting for like real wireless charging, not that you actually need a pad and not QI charging or something, but like beam charging,
That'd be cool. So you're walking around in your living room and your phone is charging.
I'm already living in 2077, man. I'm ready.
Ahead of time.
We got a city to burn.
So that's why I spotted some extra gray hairs there.
You're breathtaking.
Pytronics asking, does this monitor also support FreeSync? Yes, it supports the VESA adaptive sync standard, and that's also used by AMD for FreeSync technology. So yes, if you have an AMD graphics card, you can also use it with FreeSync.
Gary is asking, I'm not a pro, but am I allowed to have one? Yes. You don't. It's not a requirement.
We don't have like any in-game test to see how good are your games?
No. You don't have to, before you go into a shop, you have to prove that you're a pro by, I don't know, playing a match or something. You have to beat
the shop owner in Quake or something.
Or in Counter-Strike. No. But you have to show that you have like a sponsor contract with...
with a big gaming team?
I don't know, with a big gaming team indeed. No, that's not required, so don't worry about that.
Yes, we already touched a little bit on the panel types. So you have like 3 panel types that are most common nowadays. You have, also OLED still a little bit in the beginning phase.
Yeah.
Also has its downsides, but like
quite expensive still, also, right?
Yeah. But like the three main panel types at this point are TN, VA, and IPS.
Right. And just to give you guys an overview of which panel, because in the past this thing used to look a bit different.
Yeah.
Especially at IPS.
It looked very different.
Yes.
Because here you see different use cases. So gaming in terms of response time, multimedia, so watching movies on it, stuff like that. And professional work like color accurate work, for example, video editing using Photoshop, stuff like that. And per use case, you can see approximately how good a certain panel type will perform for that specific use case. And of course, this depends on the exact model, on the exact panel, because not every IPS panel is the same.
No.
You have a 60 Hz relatively slow IPS panel or 240 Hz very fast IPS panel. So this is just an indication of different panel types.
And it's also a generalization, right? So.
Yeah, so it is possible that you have like a very old TN monitor that's still very slow and gives you very bad input lag, stuff like that.
Or that you have a really new TN monitor, which is actually really, really good and
can give you pretty good color accuracy, stuff like that.
So it's not like mutually exclusive. So all TNs are bad in color. No, it's not like that.
Yeah. So as you can see, TN it's still the fastest technology, but both IPS and VA are really closing it. So the difference is becoming smaller and smaller. Every year, basically. Yeah,
which is in the end a good thing, because that
for
means
competitive gaming, yes, you have more choice, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, it doesn't really matter which monitor you choose. You're pretty good on. Well, you still have to watch for specific features, I guess.
Yeah.
But within the selection of high refresh rate, low response rate monitors, I mean, if you choose a relatively new monitor, chances are it's going to be a solid choice.
Yeah, exactly. So for multimedia, so watching movies, stuff like that. We also talked about immersion in games. There you can see that VA really shines because of its contrast levels. So you really get the deep blacks, really helps you to immerse in the game. Contrast levels on VA are not yet matched by TN or IPS. You can see that both TN and IPS are also improving on contrast levels. Later on, we'll see an overview also where it will position. And IPS panels are also getting better at contrast levels now. So black will be more black, but not as black as on VA. So if it's all about immersion, AAA titles, then usually a curved VA panel would be
a better
your choice.
Still,
IPS will give you decent multimedia experience, will give you very good colors. Very accurate colors as well. And then professional work, you already touched on it, like Photoshop, video editing, stuff like that.
IPS is the go-to.
Yeah, it's been like that for years, and that hasn't changed. IPS is still very good in that, of course. VA and TN are also getting better and better, and the colors on very old TN monitors used to be really mediocre. It's also getting better.
Correct. Well, on some of them, not all.
Some
of them are still terrible.
For every panel you have different versions, and one is better than the other. But in general, IPS is king here in this field, pretty much. So this is like a basic overview of what you can expect from which type of panel. And today we're going to see IPS.
We're going to focus on that, obviously, because, well, the monitor we are talking about has an IPS, a high refresh rate, low response time IPS panel.
Exactly. You already talked about viewing angles.
Yes.
Because,
and this is hard. We tried to find a way to maybe demonstrate it even on the live stream, live with monitors, but then you have to mess around with, moving the monitors around and stuff.
It's hard with the lights that we have here, with the setup. This is complicated to show. So we have...
this is a representation.
Representation, indeed. So you see different angles from the side, from the top, from the bottom.
Is this correct, actually?
I actually swapped them around, I see.
I was going to say.
Okay, so this is the other way around.
This looks like it's the other way around.
Exactly the other way around. I've been sleeping.
Well done. Doesn't matter.
Hey, I just came back from holiday. I was still in the holiday mode. So this is the other way around. So with TN, that's the one on the right, actually.
Yeah, where it says IPS, that should say TN.
Yeah, that should say TN. So there you see a shifting, like from the front.
Yeah.
Every panel type is pretty good.
They should be okay. They should be somewhat similar. There will be differences, but it shouldn't be too big.
That's if you're directly in front of your monitor.
Yes.
So that should be okay.
Yeah.
If you go more from the side, or usually even worse from the top or from the bottom, then you can see a shift not only in color but also brightness. So for example, your brightness will go down a lot under an angle. So that's where you really see that IPS, unlike I put it here, but on the left is IPS, on the right is TN. There it really outclasses TN. Yeah. Also the monitors we have right here, I see your monitor from an angle, then I see a shift in colors. Yeah. If you see my monitor right here from an angle, you don't see as much of shift.
No, exactly. So the color stays the same tint, we should say. The same, it looks the same. It doesn't look like yellowish or darker or lighter or something. It stays consistent.
Yeah. So viewing angles, it's a big difference between IPS and TN. Yeah. And of course it depends a bit on your use case, if this is useful or not. If you're using multi-monitor, it sometimes also happens that you watch from a certain angle. Yeah. So then it can also be really interesting to have better viewing angles. Yeah.
I saw, what I thought was an interesting question. I don't know who asked this because it's already, maybe I can scroll up. Anyway, the question was, why do designers always use a flat panel and not a curved one? Or actually, no, it was why are Londo is asking why IPS panels are always flat and not curved.
That's
I don't know if that's a fact. I don't know if there are no curved IPS panels.
There are curved IPS
panels. I was going to say, so it's not like a limitation that it cannot be curved.
There is a limitation on how far you can curve it. It's not like VA that very strong curve that you can get on VA. Yeah, that's not yet possible.
So there is some technical limitation on it. I honestly don't know. If I had to speculate, I would say that most IPS is also targets a lot of the professional users. I guess they don't value for work. They might not value the curve too much because
usually they prefer to have it as straight as possible. Exactly. They also use rulers very often.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you might skew that a little bit if you're using a curved panel. Yeah. So design-wise, yes, you will most likely see a lot more flat panels than curved panels. Yeah.
Chat's really acting weird, by the way. We see your messages like threefold or fourfold. I hope you're not actually...
sometimes they fall off really quick as well.
Yeah. I hope you're not really submitting the message twice. I guess not, but it's a bit weird for us.
Edwin K is asking, is IPS edge lit? I think that's dependent on the IPS panel itself. I think you can have different types of backlight with it. I have to check with our colleague Ja, or he's in chat, so maybe he can answer. I'm not sure if this, I think this is edge lit, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Chat is really acting weird because
we get every message, it shows up three times. So
we might miss some stuff because it goes really fast because of that. Arrow's Mine is saying IPS can be curved, it's barely noticeable. Otherwise, you get too much background bleed. That, of course, has also to do with it, but also the technique itself. You cannot curve it as far. Also, besides the background bleed.
Right. Yeah. I think this one is clear, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
So maybe it's time to do first giveaway. What do you think?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So see if you guys.
So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider. Can you also type !giveaway?
So it's being.
I see. It's being spammed as well.
It should be at least.
Yeah. So direct links also being spammed by the bot in the chat. We have many entries already.
Yep.
So our first winner for today will be. Big moment. If it's a difficult name, you're going to say it, right?
It's a script. Since when did you turn into Eric? He keeps saying that as well.
It's a good strategy.
I'll leave this one to you then. This one's easy.
Yeah. So Theo F, congratulations. You won the first $20 Team Wallet code. We will email it to you in the coming days.
Yes.
If you didn't win this time, we will have more drawings later on in the stream. Yeah. If you already entered in the giveaway, then don't worry. You will automatically be enrolled for the next drawings as well. Yeah. If you haven't participated yet, don't forget to do so.
Yeah, there are more codes to give away. Also, don't forget, I saw some questions about this. If we are, for example, also streaming on Twitch. Yes, we are. So just to make it clear, we are streaming on YouTube, on Twitch, on 3 different channels of Twitter, which is Periscope in Twitter's case, even Mixer and Facebook. So yeah, we are streaming on a lot of different channels, and we try to combine the chat all into one thing, one overview. And I think by looking at it, it seems to be especially YouTube that's
No, we also see Twitch
well.
3 times.
Oh man! Oh, but we did just get an award from Restream, which says
received 100 messages today.
Well, that goes fast if everything is entered 3 times. Anyway, achievement unlocked.
A little bit back, I also saw someone say flat is better than curved. That really depends on what you do with it, what you prefer.
And it's also your personal preference. A lot of the time.
You're using curved, right?
I use curved, yes. Yeah. I use one of our curved. I think it's the MPG 27CQ. So it's a 1440p monitor. And
what do you like best about the curve?
It's a matter of getting used to. When I first tried it, I thought it was nice, but I thought, I'm used to the flat monitor, so I'll stick with that. It's kind of like I'm a kind of person. Maybe it's also kind of inherent in a lot of men, right? When we find something we like, we stick with it.
Yeah.
So it's. But once I got used to it, actually now I prefer this curved screen, and I have a flat screen beside it, and I kind of, whenever I look at that one, and I'm kind of like, It's just once you get used to it, it's the same with refresh rate, I guess. Once you're used to a higher refresh rate and you move down, or you have one side by side and you try a lower one, it will just feel like it's missing something, right?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
It's something, at least for me, it's something like that. I don't know. How about you?
I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I prefer flat.
Okay.
And I also prefer...
I thought you prefer CRT, which is like an inverse curve.
I actually used that for quite long because they were actually able to get higher refresh rates, while in the beginning LCD was still slow and low refresh rate. So I have been using CRT for a long time, actually, when most people were long on LCD. But I still prefer flat panels and relatively small panels. So I also want to be able to see everything easily in one view. I don't want to move my head to see the corners.
No.
So small and flat is... So this type of screen has my preference. So it's you cannot say that curved is better or flat is better. That depends on the person. It depends on what you do with it. Depends on preference.
Because good point. I mean, I haven't played competitive for a while, but when I used to do that, it was also a flat screen. So I can imagine it if I would go back to a more competitive gameplay on, for example, CS:GO at some point. I might find the flat, smaller monitor more comfortable, or for some reason, that I feel better playing on that. I don't know. I can imagine that would be the case, but I'll have to go and investigate that for work purposes, guys.
But you're also more for the eye candy things, right? Because I know you use higher settings in your game and stuff. I always turn my settings down.
When I can, yes, because I like to play again. Well, I like play games that look nice anyway. So I like to be able to enjoy that stuff, because for me that's, at least for some of the games I play or used to play, that was kind of the point of one of the main reasons why I also enjoyed it. And I would turn it down indeed. If I for competitive games, I would turn the settings all the way down, because then for me it was all about winning, and I didn't care about how it looked. It was what a lot of CS:GO was my game, my poison, I guess, and. For that game, a lot of people would turn up the digital vibrance as well to make the contrast of colors, and it would look terrible, washed out, and just looks terrible.
It's like you're oversaturating colors to see your enemy better.
To a ridiculous degree, indeed. But it kind of helped it stand, for the enemy to stand out a bit more, so you would recognize it sooner.
We've got some tricks in this monitor as well to easily shift those kind of settings. And
so
you can
for
just
competitive gaming, that's a thing. But for other games, I wouldn't do that.
No. Yeah, I'm one of those persons who really ruins the graphics just for the cutting edge.
Yeah.
So even if it's a very light game, like Quake Live we're going to play today, it's very easy on your graphics card, and still I turn down my graphics all the way just to make it easier to spot my enemies. No distraction, very high frame rate.
Cheat.
Tactics.
All right. Yeah. So you have a movie. So we're going to discuss some of the benefits of high refresh rate, right?
Yeah. So we actually
we contacted NVIDIA. Who have a lot of materials on this, and recently they also launched
a full campaign on this.
Yeah, which is called Frames Win Games, and they focused more on Battle Royale, but I think it also applies to, well, generally competitive games.
I think they also have some examples with Counter-Strike. And
yes.
It's like, they focus on competitive gaming.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, it wasn't just a thing where they, wanted to sell you high refresh rates or you need to buy a new graphics card or something. They really went about it in quite, I think, well, from my opinion at least, a more scientific way of trying to see, so what are factual things and differences and benefits that we can actually measure and then explain.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this is one of the things. So let's maybe go to the first movie and let's see. Here we go. Yeah. I don't hear the voice.
I don't hear anything.
There should be somebody talking about it. Maybe. No. I'm not seeing a signal.
Anything so far.
Oh.
We can also explain this.
Yes.
Let's start over.
Okay.
So animation smoothness, that's basically how you interpret how smooth something goes over your screen. So here we have comparison.
Case, it's target tracking specifically. So you can see 240 Hertz. Maybe in the next part you'll see it a bit more clearly. Well, anyway. On 60 Hertz, you have it's a big step basically before the next frame renders.
So you can see it shock basically if you
because the server will render the object at the same speed. The guy in CS:GO, for example, is running at the same speed no matter which hertz your panel is, which refresh rate your panel is. However, in the time it takes to render one frame or to display one frame on 60 Hertz, the character has already traveled a bigger distance, basically, than compared to a higher refresh rate. So basically, you get more, or more often, you get a frame in the higher your refresh rate goes. So that means that the higher the refresh rate, the more smooth the movement you can see is perceived.
Yeah. And so that's with 60 compared to 240. Yeah. For every 4 frames you get on 240 Hertz.
Yes.
You only get 1 frame on 60 Hertz.
So that's why you can see it was kind of like shocking, like it's like jumping ahead, like skipping.
It almost, with 60 Hertz, almost feels like you're missing the frames in between.
Yes. Well, if you slow it, I mean, this will slow down, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
And in the past, I mean, when I can remember playing games with 60 Hertz and I didn't perceive it like that. Mm-hmm. But maybe now, indeed, when I'm used to 144 myself, probably it will feel like it's like laggy, right? It's not like quite rubber banding or something, but it will feel kind of like I'm missing something in between. It's more shocky, or how do you call it? Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel smooth. You even notice it, for example, in Windows itself. Yeah. At home, I use 3 screens, all high refresh rate. Yeah. Here in the office, I also use 3 screens, but they're all 60 Hertz. Yeah. And even when you're dragging, for example, a window from one screen to another, it looks super
it's
shocky,
a bit slow and sluggish. I don't know. Can we see it again, maybe?
Yeah.
Just for the guys who
just joined in.
Yeah. But also that because we just discussed it, and there you can really see now what we mean. So you can see at the 60 Hertz, it's kind of like jumping. Whereas 240 Hertz, it's really more smooth. You can really see the details in the movement. And so that will make it easier also while trying to track a target accurately. That means you have, you have more accurate control over the movement of the target, basically, and will be able to track it more accurately.
But also in other games than shooters, like, for example, a game like Rocket League, all the movement, because you have a lot of movement in that game simultaneously, the movement of the ball will be much smoother. The movement of your enemies will be much smoother. So it also becomes easier and nicer to play, basically.
Well, it makes it easier to be accurate, I guess, in whatever way.
That as well, so it's also, for some reason, it becomes easier to estimate where the ball will go after a bounce, stuff like that.
I saw somebody saying, when's the 1 kilohertz refresh rate monitor coming? We are working on it, but we're not able to tell you yet. No, just kidding. 1 kilohertz refresh rate.
You need a quick graphics card to power that.
That's 1,000 hertz, right?
That's 1,000 hertz.
That's over 4 times 240 hertz.
Yeah. Eventually, I think someday we will go there.
I don't think our brains are quite ready for that yet, and neither are our eyes, maybe.
But it's quite interesting because, like, a lot of people claim that people can only see, I think, 24 frames per second, something like that. Yeah,
the human eye is a common thing that people will say. It's kind of like a meme now, I guess. The human eye can only perceive 20x frames per second. So anything above that is pointless.
Yeah, you don't notice the difference between 60 hertz, 144 hertz. And everyone who actually tries it can easily spot the difference.
Oh yes, you can.
And everyone will easily tell this is 60 hertz.
Because even if your eyes can't perceive it, there is more than just your eyes at work here. Yeah. So it's not just, you can't just define it based on your eyes. It's based on feeling. It's based on.
And that's also why in games it's more emphasized than in video, for example, because you actually have your own movement that gets processed smoother.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like for gaming, the difference is much bigger, at least from my perspective, than when I'm watching a video.
Does your GTX 960 melt at 140 or 240 hertz?
Depends on the game, Edwin. If you're playing Quake Live like we're doing today, your GTX 960 will be fine at even 240 hertz.
Yeah.
If you're going to play very demanding AAA titles, then it might not.
I don't know. Maybe you mixed up hertz with degrees Celsius.
Then it might also.
In which case, somewhere near 240.
If you smell something, if you see some smoke, then start watch out. 2 subs with no picture saying no more Eric. No, Eric's gone.
Well, he was here before, and he is or was in the chat. I'm not sure if he still is, but he was responding in the chat, so you might get lucky and get a response from him.
Here. He'll be in another live stream.
Only Jedis can see more than 140 hertz. This is the monitor you are looking for.
Definitely.
Got it?
So we talked about motion smoothness, but there's more benefits of 240 hertz.
Yeah.
So our next one is ghosting. And I also have a short video for this. Let me look it up quickly. We also see if we can get some. I'm not sure if we can get some audio.
Oh, would be nice, but
I'm afraid so.
You wanna go to it? Okay.
Well, then we will just talk. So here you see again the comparison: 60, 144, 240. You can see like
maybe
60 hertz is almost like
pause the video here for a second. Yeah.
60 hertz is almost like you're drunk. You're seeing double.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, this is a bit zoomed in, obviously, right? Yeah. So normally you wouldn't see this, but the picture is in movement, and because of the big skips it makes, basically for every frame, there's a trail that kind of lags behind. Because obviously, once a frame is done, it will the pixels will have to shift color back to whatever it needs to be in the next frame. And if on the last frame the colors, it was dark because there was the character, and in the next frame it needs to be blue because it's sky, because it's no longer there, you will inevitably kind of see you can see the pixels basically fading to the color they will need to be, in this case the blue, and that leaves that's what's called ghosting. It's almost like a trail behind it. You could, in the past, you could really see that with mouse movement as well. Your mouse pointer in Windows, you could even enable the trail.
You can still easily see it actually. Like if on a 240 hertz monitor, if you quickly move your mouse, then it's super smooth, super fast.
Yes.
If you do that on a 60 hertz monitor, you will see a complete trail of where your mouse has been before. Cursor.
So even not even only in games, but also in Windows, you can perceive this effect.
You can try that if you're on a 60 hertz monitor. Just go around with your cursor a little bit, and you will see a trail. Yeah. That's also a very easy way to spot if you're on a high refresh rate monitor or not.
Yeah, ghosting. And here what they're saying is, it will be distracting, because when you're trying to aim at something, like in this case a character, you want to be able to aim exactly at the part that you want to hit him, right? Or either that, or you want to anticipate and aim ahead of them, so that you can anticipate while they're jumping. In this case, they will follow a set.
Hashtag blame Eric.
Oh my God.
In the mob video with audio.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So we do have.
Let's try again.
We do have the.
Let me just put this in. We have some new videos, and hopefully
so let's try that again
with audio.
Guys, you can hashtag blame Eric in the chat. He just, but he also kind of provided, hopefully, the solution.
Would be nice. Would be nice.
It would indeed be nice.
Let me
so
just
while Mike looks at that, I will highlight the giveaway again, if that will show up. There we go. So you guys can still participate in the giveaway. We are giving away $20 Steam codes today. And yeah, to participate, you either go to the link that's spammed in the chat by our bot, which is a Gleam link, or you can go to msi.com/2/insider, and there should also be a button that will link directly to the giveaway. There you will be asked to perform a couple of actions, which is in the idea of subscribe to our channel, like a video, something like that. And the more actions you perform, the better your chances are of winning. And yeah, we'll be giving away a couple of these codes this stream. What I will do now is I will also draw another winner. So Mike has a bit more time to make sure that everything's working.
Yeah, I hope so.
I heard something, but not in my earpiece.
I heard it from my headset, but also not in my ear here, so I'm not sure if we can actually see it there.
Let's see if I can draw another one, if it will let me. Man, something is making this thing quite slow now. I don't know what's going on. Just to inform you guys, well, we have the Gleam system it has a backend, and there we have like a completely randomized script that will let me draw a completely random winner from all the entries. Here we go. All right, so we have another winner. The winner's nickname is Iram.
Congratulations.
So Iram, congratulations
you also
for winning.
won a $20 Steam wallet code.
Exactly. We'll get it out to you as soon as possible. Yeah. And I think, are you ready?
Let's try the video. Let's see if
you haven't won yet, make sure you participate and don't miss out on some nice Steam credit, you guys. Here we go.
Ghosting. Next up is ghosting. Ghosting is that property.
I think audio should be working now.
You see this kind of faint blur that looks like it's trailing an object in motion. That's actually a side effect or a property of our typical modern flat panel displays because they have an update rate. Looking at our bouncing ball animation, you can see that the step size is fairly large, which means that smear behind the object is fairly pronounced. If we look at the animation now at 240 Hz, you can see the step size is much smaller, which makes the ghosting much less pronounced and therefore much less distracting. Looking at this in-game in CSGO, our character is moving from right to left. At 60 Hz, you can see the animation steps are fairly large, so the ghosting is fairly pronounced. On the right-hand side, you can see the character moving at 240 frames per second, and the steps are much smaller, so the ghosting much less pronounced, and therefore much less distracting.
Okay.
Yeah. So shall we also go back to animation smoothness? So we haven't heard that one.
I don't think it's necessary because I think we kind of
we talked about it.
Yeah, we covered that. But I mean, so basically, yeah, it's distracting, but it's also kind of, if you still see the shape, the trail behind it, it might trick you into aiming behind the character you're trying to shoot instead of at them or in front of them. So
also it has, like, if you have a character in a game or a car in Rocket League or whatever, they all have a certain hitbox.
Yes.
So if you see double and you hit it like on the stuff that's already gone, but you still see it because of the ghosting, then you don't actually hit your enemy.
Exactly.
You hit the ghosting.
In some cases, then you will get the very well-known remark, freaking hitboxes are screwed up.
Exactly. But it's possibly your ghosting is screwed up.
It could very well be indeed. So to eliminate the fact that it's ghosting, a 240 Hz monitor or even 144 will make that a lot less. Again, as you can see here, it doesn't completely remove ghosting. It's still there, but it's a lot less.
Yeah.
So you'll be less likely to have any distraction from it.
And also, if you play very fast games like Quake, like Unreal Tournament, stuff like that, then your game will look a lot sharper when you're moving, because you're moving around really quickly. So you can get motion blur really fast in games like that. Yeah. With a very fast panel, high refresh rate, you don't have that motion blur because of the ghosting. Yeah. Because it's not just the characters. Also, if you move around yourself very fast, you will have that ghosting on buildings, on textures, on everything. Yeah. And that can be really, really annoying.
Annoying, exactly. It's like motion blur on everything.
Yeah, so Nico.x is also saying, also clearer picture, of course. Yes, that's definitely also a benefit.
2 subs with no picture has got a good point. You and I can only see 4 GB of RAM. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I got this monitor on Sunday. It is amazing. Wait, let me scroll up. It just disappeared because of the chat spam.
Yeah, the chat is...
What?
Chat is struggling today.
King R Bro is saying, I just got this monitor Sunday. It is amazing. It's my first 240 hertz. Never going back to 60 hertz. Made an excellent choice. Oh, we're happy you like it, man.
Yeah, good to read.
That's the whole reason we make these monitors.
It's something you hear very often when people are using a high refresh rate monitor for a while. Not many people are going back.
No,
it's a bit like mechanical keyboards. If you're been using a regular keyboard for a while and then switch to mechanical, it's not very likely that you're going back.
In a way, you can compare it to when you buy a new computer. Would you go back to your old one, which is slower and you know, just all around worse? No. In general sense, that's kind of how it feels, I guess.
But it's hard to go back.
It is.
It's really
if
hard.
you have to, if you're forced to, oh man.
Because in the past, I've been playing fine on 60 hertz monitors, but now if I'm playing on a 60 hertz monitor, I just get annoyed.
I can remember when this first started being a thing, high refresh rates, and I was really like, right.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
I did know the benefit because I remember it from the CRT.
Yeah, for me that was too early because I was just playing really old games back then. I don't think really competitive. So for me that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
So I was really one of those people that just thought, whatever. It's nice marketing, dude. You know, I'm not going to pay
24 frames
I'm not going to pay 10 times as much justice to be able to say, oh, I have higher refresh rate. But boy, did I change, in my opinion. It's it really is different.
And also in the past, you had to sacrifice quite a lot in terms of image quality. I was used to an IPS screen, and in the very beginning, you only had kind of mediocre TN panels that could achieve high refresh rates.
But it looked awful.
It looked awful, but it was a lot smoother.
Yes, yeah. Rip Luigi's mentioned less ghosting. Nice. Very nice.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Another benefit of high refresh rate.
Tearing up those frames.
Yeah. So later on we'll also talk about a little bit about G-Sync. We already touched on it. G-Sync compatible, stuff like that. With that, you can eliminate tearing. But also if you're not using
a lot of people don't. The quick example that I know and that I play, for example, Counter-Strike, a lot of people don't even want to limit themselves to 240 FPS, which sounds like a lot. And you really think, why would you need more than that? It's also, I guess, kind of a mental thing where even if your monitor doesn't reach higher FPS than 144 or 240, the game somehow feels smoother and more responsive at 300, 400 FPS, whatever, as high as you can get them. So for a lot of games, and that's also why this example is actually Counter-Strike, a lot of these gamers they don't care about tearing, if it's not too bad. That is, and what this example shows you is that even though if you don't use G-Sync or Vsync or something like that, but with a higher refresh rate monitor,
as bad.
Exactly. So there will still be tearing, but you will be far less likely to notice it or find it distracting or annoying or something like that. Because here you can indeed see in the bottom one and especially on the left half, you might think, oh, okay, so this building has got a ledge or something. No,
so
that is the actual
tearing. I got my little hand here.
Yes.
Here you can see a very big tear, basically.
Yes.
Because the difference between one frame and the next one, it takes quite a while at 60 hertz to process from frame to frame. So the difference in between frames can be quite big, and that can look really annoying.
Exactly. And so at 144 hertz, this gap basically is, or the ledge, if you will, is already a lot smaller.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller already.
So you will be already less likely to notice it. But at the top example, it's nearly gone. I mean, it's still there, but
still see it.
It's almost like only a quarter of the size of the 60, and it's relatively accurate, I guess. That's makes sense. So it's smaller, and because it's smaller, you'll be far less likely to notice it or get annoyed by it. And so for a lot of people, that's already enough. At least for competitive gaming, that's fine. If you still want like the smoothest experience in your MMO RPG, whatever, or your Red Dead Redemption, whatever,
And you will have like more cuts in your screen.
Yes.
Because of the tearing, but they will all be minor instead of one major cut right in the middle.
Yeah.
And
one
I think
glaring
that's
cut in the middle.
Yeah, and that's the one that people tend to find really annoying. Me including.
Peter is asking, would you advise to cap your frame rate in a game, if it supports it, to the actual refresh rate of your monitor so it won't do unneeded frames? Well, that really depends on the game, I would say, and on your personal preference. Like I said, for games like CSGO, for example, I know, and I've seen a lot of people who share this opinion, no would be the advice there. Just the higher FPS, the better. Even if it's way higher than your monitor can handle, doesn't matter, it will feel somehow smoother. And this will give you the feeling that you are able to respond quicker, more accurately, etc., etc. But in other games like, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption, The Witcher, games where FPS aren't that important, as in high FPS aren't that important, it's nice, but it's not like essential. There, I would say maybe yes, because it will improve the visual quality. And I think that's for those games, at least for me, that's what those games are all about and what I find most enjoyable.
I already see it in chat as well, because that was what I was thinking as well first when I saw this comment. If you are playing a certain game where it doesn't really matter, if you limit it, you will lower the power consumption of your graphics card, because it will only run, for example, on 60% instead of a 100%. Because if you have unlimited frames per second, your graphics card will calculate as many frames as it can.
I think this is not because you are so concerned about the environment, I guess. More about you have limited space in your small form factor build, so
my small
the lower
form factor
temperature
build can run it on 100% without a problem. It's made for that.
I was linking it to that. So you have limited space in your small form factor build. Mike, if you don't know, is a big fan of those. And so for those, it's also sometimes quite hard to cool components if they get really hot. So if you get, for example, a 2080 Ti in there,
put a very large radiator in it, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So and you have also limited airflow, because a lot of the space inside the case is taken up by the components themselves, of course. So in those cases,
indeed is a benefit for that.
Yes.
It also is for your bill, your power bill.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a gamer, I don't know many gamers who care about that. There of course can be exceptions.
If there is no added benefit in the game of, like in very fast-paced games, yes, I agree, just put it all open, and I wouldn't care about that too much. But if you don't benefit from the extra frames, then you might as well not have them.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, I honestly can't be bothered to even look into that, because I'll just be too busy enjoying the game.
There's another thing, like, for example, I sometimes play strategy games.
Yes.
Like for most strategy games, there is no real benefit in having 300 frames per second, stuff like that. It's not like in shooters, you don't have the extremely fast movement. And I usually play them.
Tell that to the people playing StarCraft 2 with I don't know how many actions. How many actions per second?
Like, but they are playing that insanely fast. But like when I play
and again, that's competitive
strategy,
that's competitive strategy game. So,
but like a slower paced strategy game, it's not as important.
True.
And I usually play that without headphones on.
Yeah,
if I would have 100% load on my graphics card, then my graphics card is way louder than when I limit it to a certain frame cap. It only runs on maybe 40% load. It's super silent. So it really depends on what you want, if it's useful to limit your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor, or like you mentioned, go beyond to get the smoothest experience. Question in chat, what's the refresh rate of a Model 3?
Are you talking about Teslas or?
Yeah, we have to ask Eric.
No idea, maybe ask the factory. I don't know how fast they refresh their cars.
Did Eric already overclock his?
I don't know, did he?
It's like a driving computer, so you might be able to overclock.
I think it gets a lot of tearing though.
And you can only drive for 10 kilometers and then you're out of battery.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe you need to limit the FPS there to get more mileage.
Exactly. So yeah, we also have a short video on this.
Yep.
So
let's have a look at it.
Let me look that up, because we have some videos with audio. At least they're supposed to. Just give me 1 second.
Yep. Here we go.
To understand our next topic, tearing, it's important to understand another concept, which is Vsync. Vsync is the synchronization, or lack of, between the display and the GPU. In the Vsync on scenario, the display and the GPU are locked, which means the GPU only presents completed frames on the display. In the Vsync off scenario, there's no waiting, which means the display is going to continue updating and it's going to grab the frame at whatever state the GPU happens to have it in, which could be sometimes partial frames, and then present it. That partial frame appears on your screen as a tear. Why would you accept tearing? Well, one of the advantages of Vsync off is that the GPU can render as fast as it possibly can, which can make the game feel much more responsive. We've made some simplifications here today around Vsync for understanding. We'll get into more complex topics like G-Sync and variable refresh rate at a later date. As you can see here in the animation, the lack of synchronization between the GPU and the display causes tearing. The GPU is required to present an incomplete frame. The size of that tear that you see there is determined by the animation step. At lower frame rates, those steps are fairly large, so tearing can be quite pronounced. At higher frame rates, the steps are much more frequent, so they're smaller, so the tears are much less pronounced and therefore less distracting. Looking at tears in CSGO, we can see here as we zoom in on the vertical brown tower, the tears on the top are much smaller than the tears at the bottom at 60 Hz because the animation steps are much more frequent and therefore the tearing much less pronounced at 240 Hz.
Right. So there you have it. That's it's basically what we just mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So he explains where the same thing we just mentioned. And of course a little bit about Vsync, and I mean Vsync used to be a great tool for games indeed who, for example, which you didn't mind if they are capped at a certain rate, and so you kind of fix the rate. The Vsync is, of course, for those who don't know, it's like a kind of a force fix, I guess.
Yeah.
It forces the GPU to
run at the maximum refresh rate of your monitor.
Well, yeah, so indeed. So if your monitor is 60 Hz, then your graphics card will be kind of forced to go 60 Hz. Even if it can do higher, it will be slowed down to match the 60 Hz. The issue I noticed a lot in the past with Vsync is that for some reason, even if my graphics card was plenty fast enough to catch it, and I got the full 60 FPS, and yes, the screen looked smooth, the image, no tearing, but for some reason there was kind of like an input lag or something. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like laggy.
It felt like playing with an extremely old wireless mouse.
Yeah, that, or with a really laggy connection or something.
Yeah.
That where you would move your mouse and it would you would notice that there's a delay.
Yeah.
To when the screen actually moved, and that's really annoying. So that's also why things like G-Sync, FreeSync, and really adaptive sync basically are a godsend, because it can give you that same smoothness, but because it can function at variable refresh rates, you can still get the benefit of higher FPS, and also it removes the perceived delay, basically, of the lag, the input lag.
The input lag of Vsync is so much higher.
Yeah.
And that really makes it, especially for for slower games, like slower strategy games, it's fine. It might even improve your experience because you don't have any tearing.
You're not in a hurry anyway.
Exactly. But if you're playing fast games, like for example, quick shooters, Counter-Strike, Quake, there it feels sluggish, basically.
Yeah, and it messes with your aim and response and all that. I never really understood why Vsync had that input lag thing. I have no idea, and I remember diving into it at some point because I was so frustrated about it, but that's so long ago I really don't remember what it was. I don't even know if there was a good explanation for it. Do you know what the reason is for it? Why the input lag perception on Vsync?
I think it's because of the mismatch in between your graphics card and the FPS it can
like an overhead.
Yeah,
that could very well be.
I think that's the main reason that you have the input lag on the Vsync.
But it was so noticeable. It was almost like it was purposely built in. It was just so annoying.
In certain games it can be extremely
annoying.
Infuriating,
I remember that.
But like in some games, it actually does give you a better experience.
Yeah. When it's games, again, like The Witcher or something, where timing is not that important, at least doesn't come down to milliseconds. That's fine. You probably don't notice it, even especially when I remember somebody, an old colleague of ours, Martijn, who used to play The Witcher years ago on his.
Now working for AMD sometimes.
But he used to tell me that he was playing The Witcher 3 on 4K already, and then he was playing it with a controller, and I was like, I need a controller because I'm really a mouse and keyboard kind of guy. And I thought he was as well. He plays a lot of these shooters and stuff like that. And then I thought, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. And also because it's not fast paced, and it's just kind of he called it also couch gaming, which you're just sitting on your couch, chilling and playing a game. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Almost like console gaming, I guess, but with
it's like almost a movie-like experience while gaming.
Yeah, but with you running the main script,
exactly.
and it's really cool. But yeah, so
in the protagonist
but in those kind of scenarios, I guess it makes a lot of sense, or more sense at least, and you don't find it quite as noticeable.
Yeah.
Not saying he was using Vsync, by the way, because I don't think he did. But I could imagine in those scenarios,
certain games it can be beneficial.
Yeah.
But usually for more competitive games,
nope.
Vsync is a no-go.
We don't. Well, you can try again. It's down to your own preference. If you find it somehow preferable or really enjoyable, hey, by all means, whatever floats your boat.
But how many competitive gamers do you know that prefer Vsync?
Let me count. 0.
That took long, that count.
But you haven't asked me how many competitive gamers I know. No.
More than 0?
No, wait. I know quite a few. I used to play a lot of, not high-level competitive, but competitive gameplay on CSGO, for example. So
even like more competitive casual gamers usually switch this on.
Well, competitive doesn't mean you have to be pro, right? Competitive can just mean that you want to win.
Yeah,
that's competitive.
Exactly. Like you have the competitive playlist and stuff in many games. Let me see. Unknown is Unknown 002 is asking that said, since games like, do you know which one it is? SFV?
I'm trying to think about it.
Not sure. Really run at only 60 FPS on
Street Fighter 5? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think Mortal Kombat has the same thing. It's also kind of capped at 60 FPS.
A 240 Hz monitor wouldn't really do much for game fluidity.
I don't know. For this kind of fighting game, and I think the Street Fighter is also has a competitive scene, and for those. I don't. It's not my kind of game, but I do remember some people who play it, and I think those people also say if you really are into the competitive thing, yes, more FPS, because in those games it's usually all about timing, and timing means you gotta hit a certain move at the right time, or else your opponent can block it or dodge it or whatever. So you only get a window of opportunity to counter a certain move or to make your move, and in that case, I think FPS does matter, and having a more responsive or smoother experience might give you a small edge where you are more accurately able to discern, hey, this is the moment I have to strike, or whoa, he's making that move, I better make sure I dodge it or block or whatever.
But the problem on those console games sometimes is that, for example, this one's limited to 60 FPS.
If it's locked, then there's nothing you can do.
It doesn't do anything, but still it can benefit you because of the very short response time.
Yeah.
Because it's a very fast monitor also at 60 Hz, the response time is lower than a common 60 Hz
and this I think we'll get back to this, right? Because this also has to do with the how fast the pixels can shift color, basically. Which
so response time, but also input lag.
Yes.
Like lower input lag on, for example, this monitor has extremely low input lag compared to even most gaming
a lot of
monitors.
other monitors,
so
also something we'll show later on.
It will also benefit you on console in that situation. Let me take some drink.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. All right, maybe.
I see another question. Depends if Xbox starts supporting FreeSync. I think they did.
They might. There's an AMD chip in there, isn't it? In most consoles.
Yeah, I think so.
So, I wouldn't find that at all strange. It's an AMD chip, so why not?
And FreeSync's also supported over HDMI. So
Although here's the thing. Then some people might run into different issues because a lot of TVs, a lot of people play their consoles on TVs, and maybe a lot of TVs don't support variable refresh rate or adaptive sync. I don't know how many if that's common amongst TVs already.
But also more and more people are combining, for example, on their desk, they have their gaming desktop with their gaming monitor, but they want to play, for example, an exclusive game on PlayStation or Xbox.
A really good friend of mine who I used to play a lot of games with, but recently not so much, told me that recently he also bought a Switch.
Yeah.
And
for certain game titles, you don't have
he'll just sit in his gaming chair And he'll be playing Escape from Tarkov or something, and then he'll just feel like, okay, I'm done, and I've done this raid, and I just want to chill, and he'll just grab out his Switch and play some Zelda. It's really cool, you know.
I know Ja also does that. I think he has a PlayStation or something.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I think he also has it hooked up to his monitor, so he can just while sitting at his desk switch from PC to console.
Yeah.
And he also uses his gaming monitor.
He's getting a lot of use out of that right now.
Yeah, I think so too. With all that time.
Let's hope. I mean, don't get bored.
No, he was asking no G-Sync native monitors in the future. What do you mean with native? Like the hardware module?
Yeah, because we already have 2 of those. One of them is sitting on my desk.
Here. And maybe in the future
maybe I can show you this one. Because you can see here NVIDIA G-Sync. So this one is actually, it's the Oculus NX, was it 252?
Yeah, so we have the 251, which is the 1 millisecond version, and the 252R, which is the 0.5 millisecond.
So those are 2 models that actually do have native G-Sync support.
Like the hardware module inside the monitor.
Exactly. The monitor we're talking about today, so the one in front of Mike basically, that one is
G-Sync
compatible, which means it doesn't have the physical module inside, but it's compatible with the G-Sync. G-Sync compatible is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually, here we go. We have a slide about that. Let's see, here we go. So yeah, G-Sync compatible. And what that means is it basically just uses or leverages a lot of the same technology that, for example, FreeSync. So it's adaptive sync.
Maybe we can show in the settings how you actually activate
Go ahead.
G-Sync compatible.
You can show it on your PC.
So I'm currently using our Trident X PC with an RTX 2080 graphics card, I believe is in there.
Yeah, you can probably see it also when you open the NVIDIA console, right?
So if you go to NVIDIA control panel,
make sure you tell people how to get there. Maybe some people don't know.
Right click on your desktop, you will see NVIDIA control panel.
And small disclaimer, this will only show up if you have an NVIDIA graphics card in there. So this is also a great way to find out. So if you're not sure what's in your PC, right click, and if there's an NVIDIA icon there for the console.
If you have everything installed correctly, then there is.
Yeah, you need to have the drivers installed, obviously.
I also have it in the bottom right, probably in your system tray. You can also see if you right click there.
I think that's usually
NVIDIA contrll panel and NVIDIA GeForce Experience.
Experience is one of the things there. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I can open that as well.
Yeah.
So you see the difference. Here you see some games that are installed. You can update your drivers, stuff like that, and optimize your game. But for G-Sync, you want to go to NVIDIA control panel. Here in the taskbar on the left, you will see under Display, Setup G-Sync. There, at step 1,
there's a setting.
Yeah, you can.
In your case, it might be disabled. I think if your monitor is capable of it, it will be a lot of times automatically enabled. I think it should be.
Too.
Yes,
I think so too.
But it's always worth to check it just to be sure.
Yeah.
And again, this option will most likely be available if your monitor can do adaptive sync. So again, you can try this even if your monitor isn't officially NVIDIA G-Sync compatible certified. So it's worth giving it a try.
I think we have an early sample actually. It says selected display is not validated as G-Sync compatible.
Yeah, well that's
but
true.
it is now.
Probably
yeah.
we
so
have
probably still older firmware. I think this is pre-production from before it actually was validated.
Yes.
So before we send it to NVIDIA.
Yeah.
When you get it now, you shouldn't be getting this message because now it is validated as being G-Sync
It's also,
compatible.
if you look on the NVIDIA website, you go to, or you just Google for G-Sync compatible monitors, you will get a list on the NVIDIA website.
With all the officially validated
Exactly, and it's in there, so it is officially validated, yes.
Here we'll have 2 options, enable for full screen mode and enable for windowed and full screen mode. So for example, sometimes I play some games in windowed mode because I use multi-monitor, so I can game in the middle one. I usually have some music on another monitor, Steam on another monitor, etc. So if you also want G-Sync to work there, then you pick this one. If you only want to have it in full screen mode, then you pick this one. It's
I had it
you
recently
like
where a game, for some reason, in full screen mode, it wouldn't launch properly. It would kind of crash. But if I launch it in like windowed borderless
maybe
mode,
like a very old game,
something like that. I don't. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But it sometimes happens. So yeah, that's also, if you have that kind of situation, at least both are supported. So that's also nice to know.
Yeah. So yeah, you select this, you press apply, and then it was already switched on for this.
Yes.
And then
it's
Vsync is enabled.
Can you also check because in the same settings menu you could check the settings for the refresh rate, right? You can also just check and verify. It's also if you bought your first high refresh rate monitor, for example, it happened to me a long time ago, and I thought. I'm not that impressed, you know. I thought, well, I thought the difference would be bigger. And then in the end, I started looking at this setting, and then I found out indeed it was still at 60 Hz. And I thought, oh God, I feel so stupid now. But because I know it happens, if you're not sure, this is a way to check and make sure that your system is actually running at.
So what you did was like buying a Ferrari and limiting it to 100.
Yeah, but it was within the first day though. So luckily it didn't take me like a year until I thought, wait a minute. No.
Yeah, you have some people that say, I bought a high refresh rate monitor, but I didn't really notice any difference.
Yeah.
Check your settings.
Yes, just to be sure. Yeah. I mean, it could be that indeed you might not notice that much of a difference.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing maybe, but just to be sure. It's also
especially
in the past,
if you come from 60 Hz, you most likely
it's also in the past, SLI, for example. I tried it in the past, long time ago, and I had two 970s, I think. I just thought, I don't notice that.
Is not increased.
Yeah, I didn't notice a performance difference. And I thought, well, why? I have two in here. It should work. And of course, SLI wasn't enabled by default. So another one of
so
these
for
things.
this, you go to also under display. You have change resolution. There you see a lot of different resolutions. So this is full HD panel, 1920 x 1080.
Yeah.
And here you see the refresh rate. You can also switch to lower one.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You can even make a custom profile, right? So at the button, customize low. So. Don't really recommend it, but if you have like very special cases where you want a very special refresh rate or resolution, I guess it gives you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, so make sure to check if your monitor is actually on 240 Hz.
Yes.
Or 144 if you have 144 Hz.
Yeah, especially if you suspect something that you think, wait a minute,
if you don't feel a difference, check
this thing should be really, really fast, but I don't know. This way, you will know for sure.
Yeah. That's indeed a big difference.
Yes.
That was Vsync compatible.
Yeah.
You know the difference. You know how to switch it on. You know how to check your refresh rate if everything's set up correctly.
Yeah.
But there are more features on this.
How about FreeSync? I just bought a FreeSync monitor for my 5700 XT Mac.
Same story, but then in your AMD drivers also check out if it's enabled there. Also check out on your monitor, because there's also often in your on-screen display or gaming OSD, if your monitor supports it, like the software version, there you can also switch it on or off.
Yes.
So make sure it is enabled on both your monitor and
the drivers.
Yes. So if you don't have the option, check your monitor settings, because it might be switched off there.
Yes.
I think by default our displays are all set to enable.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that all other brands also do that. I'm not sure. So it's always worth just checking to make sure. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Latency. So this is something that I was skeptical about, but it is actually scientific proven by practice. So this here actually kind of says that you will be likely to see, in this case, your enemies, for example, when they run around the corner, you will be more likely to see them sooner on a higher refresh rate monitor. So on 60, because remember, it kind of skips, right? So one frame, the enemy is not there, and the next frame, actually, he's like half his body is already sticking out. Whereas
because there's like a gap in between.
Yeah, whereas on the 240 Hz monitor, there are 3 frames in between where you can probably, for example, already see his hand sticking out and then the rest of his arm. And so you've got more time to already register, wait a minute, there's somebody coming around, and respond.
And of course, it depends on the exact timing, but in the worst case situation, the 240 Hz monitor player already saw 3 frames of you.
Yes.
While you only
before you see the first frame of him.
While you're still waiting for the next frame.
Yes.
And didn't see him yet.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the most extreme situation because on 240 Hz, 4 frames, same compared to 1 frame on.
But
60.
I mean, the argument stands, as in it's a fact that indeed you will have more frames that actually register, hey, something is happening here, and it will give you some extra time some extra time to respond. So it is a benefit.
Yeah. So we also have
it's a movie, right?
a nice video of this.
Yes.
Should be with sound now.
Hardik Chaudhary. Oh my God, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Shout out, man.
Hello, good to see you here.
Thank you for joining. Okay, let's watch the movie.
Our final topic is system latency, which is a bit more complicated. System latency is typically known as that mouse click to muzzle flash or that motion to photon latency. It is not network latency, which is typically how your computer communicates over the internet to a back-end game server, sometimes referred to as lag. Taking a look at our game pipeline, we have a 60 frames per second example. And again, for simplification, we've decided to set the GPU rate and the CPU rate to be the same. So in this case, they're both at 60 frames per second. That means the blue bar here, the CPU, takes 16 milliseconds at 60 frames per second to do its work. It then hands off that frame to the GPU, which also takes 16 milliseconds at 60 frames per second to do its work. The gray bar that you see there is the amount of time it actually takes the display to update and show you that frame. At 240 frames per second, everything speeds up. Our CPU work, our GPU work, and our display work are all roughly 4 times as fast, so at 240 frames per second, your system latency is 1/4 the time. Using a single frame as an example, we have a fast system here on the top and a slower system on the bottom. They're both doing the same work, which is to render and produce a single frame. The fast system is producing CPU work, GPU work, and display work sooner than that slower system doing the same work. The difference between those two is the difference in overall system latency, which is felt as reduced input delay, which is mouse click to muzzle flash or motion to photon. Okay, to bring this all home, let's take a look at an example of system latency in CSGO. At the top, we have a fast system running at 240 frames per second, and at the bottom, a 60 frame per second system. They're both receiving updates from the network at the same time, but the faster system processes that work faster, resulting in lower latency, and the slower system takes longer. Denotated here by this vertical bar, the difference between a 240 frame per second system and a 60 frame per second system is quite pronounced. That difference is the difference in system latency, which lets you, as the player, react faster.
Yeah, so in the demonstration, you also see the difference, like a guy is running around the corner, and on the 240 hertz monitor, you can already see him, while on the 60 hertz monitor, you're still waiting for the first frame with your enemy to be displayed.
And he explains a lot more detail about how you know the frames are built up and stuff, because it all kind of has to do with the whole process. But in the end, I mean, the main point indeed is well, what you just said. So you have more information and more time to respond, basically. It's a competitive edge. If you're looking for, and these are tiny, this is milliseconds work, right? It's not like you see him a minute before the other guy sees you. But you know, in competitive gaming, milliseconds or even less time than that can sometimes make a difference between winning or losing, and it's the edge.
Linus, the big tech YouTuber, he also did a video on high refresh rate monitors.
Yeah, with Shroud and some other pros, I think, also,
and they also did a comparison in Counter-Strike, I believe, with, I think it's the Dust, the map?
Yes, well, Dust 2, actually.
Or Dust 2.
And they stand in
the middle. They have
like
the doors.
Yeah, double doors in mid, and from T-Spawn, if you know the game, T-Spawn. In a game as well, a lot of the time, a guy with a sniper rifle and AWP will stand there and look, at least see how many players are crossing, because that gives you information about, you know, how is the enemy team deploying over the map. But also they will usually try to take pot shots. And if you're fast enough, it's like a really small gap. So you really have like only 1 or 2 milliseconds or something to respond, something like that. So you have to be either really good and really quickly, or just really lucky sometimes with your timing to hit one of those shots. And so
they tested it with like several different people, and they put them, I think, on a 60 hertz and high refresh rate, I think 240 or something, and they, or maybe also 144. I think they did several. And they checked, like, do you actually hit more shots with high refresh rate monitor? And so with the very high refresh rate monitor,
they did.
It was, because
a conclusive
sometimes,
difference.
you see your enemy earlier, so it's simply faster to react in time.
Sometimes, indeed, with some of those shots, you could see, and also with the ghosting, it was clearly visible. I remember in the video where they Shroud was, for example, saying they're like, no, I hit him, didn't I? I hit him. That was a hit. And they slowed it down with the high frame rate camera, and he actually hit the shadow, the ghost, and not the character itself.
So not the actual hitbox of the character.
So he thought he'd hit him. Actually,
but he didn't.
And so that's one of the effects. Yeah. So that was pretty cool to see, and also very clear. Well, kind of as scientific, I guess, as you can get about this thing, to prove, is this a benefit in competitive gameplay, yes or no? And it was conclusive that yes, it was clearly, in all. Yeah. And they tested it with pros, but also, I mean, Linus himself played, and he's not a pro. I actually have no idea if he's any good in the game. He seemed pretty decent. He might have practiced, but even non-pros, you know, some casual players, they also showed better results on a high refresh rate monitor.
And I think some non-pros were even outperforming pros on a low refresh rate one.
Could be,
so casual players on a high refresh rate were better at responding to that on a high refresh rate monitor than pros were on the low refresh rate monitor.
Yes, yeah. But I mean, it's what you're used to. These pros are so trained and drilled with their high refresh rate that it's, you know, everything depends on it. Their timing, because the timing can be off, but it influences a lot. So yes, it was very hard. There was one guy, actually, I don't remember, he was I think a Twitch streamer, and he actually found it quite easy to adapt to the lower
but I think
refresh rate.
He was still playing on low refresh rate or something. He was very much used to it.
It was he could anticipate or something. I don't know how he described it, but you know, some people were. Yeah, I think Mr. Grimm, you're talking about. Yeah. I think he said that, you know, for some reason he was able to. It wasn't quite as good as on high refresh rate, but he was able to kind of mitigate the difference a lot, at least. But most of the other players, if not all, really had a big problem with the lower refresh rate, and really felt like that wasn't going to work.
Gamers Club is asking if you have a high refresh rate monitor and good internet connection up to 40 ping. Guys, believe me, you can beat Shroud. Yeah,
I'm joking.
Yeah, I think it depends on the game.
Yeah, Shroud is really freaking good though.
Not in every game, I suppose.
But he has a lot of time to play these games, and he's generally, at least at shooter games, he's pretty good.
I'm not sure about Rocket League. Maybe there.
I don't know. I've never seen him play it. He might have. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure either. Yeah. But he really mains shooter games.
Yeah.
Unknown 002 is asking, what's Eric's opinion on this monitor?
I don't know.
I will ask him. I don't know. Yeah.
Eric, what's your opinion on this monitor? If you're
maybe
here,
he's in chat.
Yeah, if you're here, please respond in the chat. Let these people know.
Yeah, but Eric is so old that the response time of the monitor is not the limiting factor anymore.
Ouch!
Sorry, Eric.
That was uncalled for, dude.
But it is true, though. For younger people, it is easier to react.
Well, that's also why you see a lot of those Twitch shooters usually being played by younger people.
Exactly, and it is, I think, also scientifically proven that once you get older, you get slower.
Yes,
in terms of reaction time.
Yes, your reaction time is a bit longer.
Yeah. So sorry, Eric. But science doesn't lie.
I mean, the proof there is old people in traffic.
Yeah. Let's not talk about old people in traffic.
Anyway. Yeah, so here's, I mean, we promised you guys some data about some of these features and relevant data, basically, and tests. These are benchmarks by Hardware Unboxed or Harbor Unboxed or whatever. Love you guys. Great work.
Australian guys, I believe.
Yeah. They do a lot of detailed work. They also reviewed one of our, I think it was a content creation monitor a long time ago. And they found an issue with the calibration with it, indeed. And thanks to their reviewing and their, they were able to share their findings with us. We were able to fix the issue.
Fix it,
yeah, and so now the monitor is way better for everybody out of the box. And so they have a lot of in-depth testing knowledge, and they actually do a lot of in-depth testing, and not a lot of media do this, to be honest.
This is quite extensive testing.
Yes.
They do many different tests, and they use a lot of different models for it, so they can also make proper comparisons.
Yes, yeah. Because you kind of need to, you get a result, but without context, like other monitors, you can't really see, is this good, is this bad, what does this mean?
Yeah, if you only see, for example, the 3.21 milliseconds, then how does that...
Yeah, what does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad?
How is that compared to other monitors?
Yeah.
So this is the response time, Great Gray average. And you see many different models, and also what's interesting about this.
Can you tell what this test is and what this, how this is relevant?
This is like how quick a pixel switches from gray tone to another gray tone.
Okay. So from one, so it switches from one gray tone to another and back to the original.
I'm not sure if they measure one switch or also back. Okay. I'm not 100% sure on that.
And what this basically means is, so for each pixel, how fast can it change color and back?
Basically, yes. Okay. And this, of course, the results are different from gray to gray, but that means different colors.
Of course, the faster it can do it, the better. Because if you have a really long response time on this, that means that, for example, if you have a moving object, it will leave kind of a trail.
Yeah, then you will get a kind of ghosting effect.
Yes.
Yeah. And what we always saw is that with these kind of tests, TN was always by far the fastest panel.
Yeah.
IPS and VA, they were getting better over the years, but we're still quite far off. But recently, with the newer IPS and also to a certain extent VA panels, they're getting close.
Yes.
Still, you see some TN monitors are on top. Yeah. Also 240 Hertz models.
Yeah. But the difference is relatively small.
You have to be good to notice this difference.
Yes. Yeah.
I also see that from the let me see, the 144 Hertz panels, you also see that they tend to be slower in this than 244 Hertz panels.
Yeah. Also, VA panels are pretty much all at the bottom of the list, with one exception.
Yeah. They're also getting better and closer, but still, TN is still the fastest, but IPS and VA are closing in both.
Yeah.
And this monitor is already extremely close to TN monitors.
Yeah. Well, it's right in the middle, pretty much. I mean, there are some TN models, like you said, right at the top. They're
big boy, you can tell the difference between these responses.
Yeah, marginally faster. Yeah. But as the Hardware Unboxed guys also mentioned, it's come to a level where it's pretty much the same level. It's hard to notice the difference.
Yeah, especially like from 311 to 321.
Yeah,
that's such a minor difference. Yeah. A tenth of a millisecond.
Yeah.
So IPS is really closing in, and maybe in the future they will even beat TN in this. Yeah. Another one, input lag, and we already touched on this with the console question.
Yeah.
Because input lag is like we also touched on it with like Vsync. You have like a delay in between your input and what you see on the screen.
Yes.
And that's what you don't want. You want what you do on your mouse immediately on your screen.
So they've broken it down into three things, right? Mm-hmm. So you have processing lag, which is the processing lag is the CPU and GPU, I guess.
No, I think this is purely the monitor.
Okay.
So you also have the processing of the image to the panel.
Right. Okay.
I think that's what's being measured here.
Okay. And then the refresh lag, and that's purely the panel, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you have response lag.
Yeah, the pixel.
Right. So it breaks it down into these factors.
Yeah. And if you add them all up, then you have your total input lag.
Yes.
And what you see is that like only a 240 Hertz TN model is even slightly faster.
It's fractionally faster.
Yeah. But also a very minor difference. So the difference in between TN and IPS is getting so extremely small.
Yeah. And our monitor is not the only IPS monitor which has that very low input lag.
But no, IPS in general is
the LG, well, the LG monitor below it also. Actually, two LG IPS monitors quite close. So, I mean, IPS is
in general, IPS is
nice.
Closing the gap basically in terms of response.
And this overview shows that, I think, quite well. Again, VA is a little bit lagging behind in this case. I don't know if there are VA panels that can actually do better than this. There might be, but in this lineup, in their testing...
Also depends on the model you have. I believe 240 Hertz is also possible on VA now. Yeah. I don't think that's in this comparison, but that one might be closer.
I do see 200, and that one is indeed, I think, the fastest in terms of response rate for VA.
And in this overview, yes.
Yeah, with about 10... was it 10 milliseconds,
10 milliseconds,
I guess?
So VA is also getting closer. But right now, IPS is already almost on par.
Yep.
At least for the 240.
So this is an impressive thing. And
this
really,
really impressive thing.
In the past, this used to be one of the big things where...
one of the major downsides of IPS for gaming.
Why you wouldn't choose IPS for gaming. And now it actually, it's not anymore.
Yeah. And this is for console gaming also very important, because even if you play at 60 Hz, you're still dealing with input lag.
Yeah.
So even if you're like running a very slow 144 Hz monitor with bad input lag, then you will still perform less.
Yeah. So correct. Okay.
And then contrast, and this is where VA obviously shines.
You can see that. Yeah.
I mean, VA is extremely good.
VA dominates in this field.
So for deep blacks, for total immersion, VA is simply still the way to go. But also here we can see that this IPS panel, it beats all the other IPS and TN panels in this test.
Yeah, it's the closest thing to VA, basically, of the rest of the
It's still not VA
pack.
level, still quite a gap, because VA on contrast is, well, unbeatable for IPS and TN at least.
Yeah,
OLED is a different story. So the contrast levels also, surely for an IPS panel, are really good.
I saw a question, DanWatt1234 is asking, do you have a high FPS OLED display? Well, we don't at the moment. I also don't know if there are any on the market yet. It would be something that's quite interesting, because like you mentioned, in terms of, it also has a lot of, for visual style, a lot of benefits, right? It has really good color reproduction, really great contrast. I don't know if it's even better than VA.
It can switch its pixels off.
There you go. So it's even better than VA.
In terms of contrast, yes.
Yeah, but I don't know in terms of response rate, refresh rate and pixel response. I don't know how fast that is at the moment, or how fast they can get
it. The problem with a computer compared to television, for example, is like in Windows you have many static components.
Yes,
like
visual components.
Visual components, like your taskbar with Windows logo, etc.
Icons.
And OLED is more sensitive to burn-in than these screen times. Yeah. So that is, it's improving. OLED is getting better at this. So in the future, I don't think burn-in will be that big of a problem anymore.
No.
But that's still somewhat of a downside right now. Yeah. Especially for a computer. For television, it's not that big of a problem. I know like many channels also changed their logo, like they made it some kind of transparent kind of tint.
Sure.
To avoid burn-in.
Exactly.
I think many
on
already
the other
did
hand, I would actually do it the other. If I'm working for one of these channels, I would say no, just make it as contrast as possible.
On every
exactly. So it doesn't matter if they switch to another channel, they still see us.
And it was also with plasma televisions in the past. That was also a big problem.
Yeah, burn-in. That's right. Yeah. Latency, what are we giving away? Well, that's a coincidence, because we're going to switch to that right away. We're actually giving away a $20 Steam codes. You do the talking, I do the drawing.
Yeah, let's do the next one. So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider. You can also type !giveaway in the chat. Then the bot will drop a direct link to Gleam, where you can also participate. Next winner is... Ooh. This is a difficult one, that's for you.
Kolia MNE.
Congratulations, you also won a $20 Steam wallet code.
I hope I pronounced that correctly. It was one of the more difficult ones.
Yeah, it was one. Aditya Roxon is asking, have MSI got ultra-wide monitor? Yeah, we have several ultra-wide models. Make sure to check out the website. There you can find all the different models. Yep. We actually have them both for content creation and gaming. So dependent on what you do with your monitor.
Yeah. So go to msi.com and there you can...
Go to the monitor section and there you will see all the models that we have right now. Let's go to another interesting feature on this monitor.
I think we need to speed up a bit as well, right? It's
yeah, and I need to beat you in Quake still.
No, let's slow down.
I will slow you down. So night vision is a very interesting feature. Like on our older models, we already had black tuner, and with that, if you have like very dark areas in certain games, it can be hard to spot enemies, stuff like that. So you pump up the brightness a little bit, so it's
a little bit.
Yeah, quite a lot. So it's easier.
But it's basically just like upping the gamma, right?
Yeah. I guess. So the total image becomes brighter, and it's easier to spot your opponents.
But it looks washed out.
Yeah, like the image quality is not great.
It suffers.
It suffers.
Okay.
With night vision, you maintain most of your image quality, so it will still look good, but it will still be easier to spot your enemies.
So it basically applies the higher selectively, right?
Yeah. So it like takes best of both worlds, basically. So you will still have the good-looking image, while still seeing your opponent in dark areas. Yeah. And it's also something you can switch on in your regular OSD, in your gaming OSD. And it's an interesting feature, especially in some darker games. If you want to play horror games, but you're a little bit scared, you might want to put this on as well.
You play horror games, but you're a little bit scared.
Yeah, you have people that do that. Just look at YouTube and you see many examples.
That game, GTFO.
I haven't played it yet.
No, me neither. I did watch some videos about it. It's like, oh man. Kind of makes my, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
So maybe something for next stream, Peter playing GTFO.
With a small camera right up my nose.
Exactly. And then I'll sneak up behind you and scare the hell out of you.
I'm scared.
Yeah, so really interesting feature. Still get good image quality, but yet easier to spot your opponents. Yes. We already touched a bit on it with night vision gaming OSD.
You want to show the software itself?
Yeah, let's just show it. So you have the OSD on a monitor. You'll have it on pretty much any monitor, so that's very common thing. But we also have software version of gaming OSD. So that means you don't have to use the joystick on the back of the monitor.
You can still do it, by the way. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
You don't have to, but we offer you the option to also control all the options. Normally you can only do on the monitor itself with buttons or joystick indeed, but now you can do it in software with a mouse, so it's a bit easier.
Yeah, it's much more convenient.
Yes.
So with this, you can already see on the left, you have different preset profiles. So for example, for first-person shooter games, automatically changes a lot of settings, optimized for, in this case, first-person shooters. Sometimes the image doesn't get prettier, but it does give you a benefit in games.
Yes.
You have them for all different kind of settings. When I click them, you cannot see anything change on your screen, obviously, because it's changing on this specific monitor.
Yes. It's changing on the panel, not on the signal coming from the PC.
Exactly. So I see, for example, when I select FPS, I see the colors popping and brightening the screen up. You can also make your own profiles here. So for example, here I have Quake Live profile. That's what we're going to play later. And here you can change the brightness, contrast, sharpness, night vision. We just talked about that.
I think you can even do a hotkey for that, right? So you don't have to leave the game to either enable or disable it.
Yeah, so when you go to the settings right here, and then to hotkey settings, you can do all different kinds of changes. You can set a hotkey on your keyboard, for example. Also screen assistance, which is like
alarm
the crosshair.
Clock. If you only have a certain amount of time,
if you put in a pizza in the oven, put your alarm clock on your monitor, definitely. So here you can use night vision, different settings here. So depending on your liking, you can do a little bit of it, or
you could try see what looks best in the game that you're playing.
Exactly. Response time. You have different settings. Normal is without overdrive. If you use fast or fastest, you will use overdrive to make your panel respond faster, but it can slightly, for example, the color accuracy can suffer a little bit.
So I mean, when Hardware Unboxed also touched on during their review is they said, it's an IPS monitor, and so yes, the color is a hell of a lot better than a TN panel, than almost all TN panels. However, if you compare it to like dedicated IPS panels, which are meant and purposely built for color reproduction and accuracy, then there's a little bit different, because of course this monitor is more meant for gaming, and so it will focus a bit more on the higher FPS and the response rate. And it's a bit of a trade-off. It's not to say that the color is bad by any means. That's why I want to mention and need you to understand that it's still a lot better than almost all TN panels, probably all TN panels. But in terms of IPS, it might not be the best. And this actually differs per setting. So what Mike is saying, so if you want to enjoy like the best color on this monitor,
you switch it to normal.
Yeah, you switch it to normal.
But also we saw in the Hardware Unboxed test that even on fast, the color mistakes that it makes still minor. If you go to fastest, there will be a bigger variance there.
Yes.
Here you can also change, for example, image enhancement, color temperature. So you have different presets for this, warm, cool, but you can also customize your own color temperature settings. screen size, so your aspect ratio, you can switch up here. Here's some more settings, anti-motion blur, adaptive sync, what we talked about before. That's a setting you need to be able to enable.
So you have the setting in the drivers of your graphics card, but you also have it in the OSD, as you can see.
Yeah, exactly. Eye saver, for example, if you want to read very long text, so it will filter out some blue light. You cannot see this, so it will still appear normal there. But here it looks yellowish now.
Yes, it's more
more convenient to the eye.
Yeah, less straining
on your eye.
Exactly.
Screen assistance. There you will be able to set your crosshair. Can customize location, size.
Also, this you won't be able to see when he applies this because again, it applies purely on the panel, so it's also not registered by the
nice
PC.
Camera here.
Maybe turn the monitor then when you do that.
Yeah, I can show it like this.
Where's the detail? Here we go.
Yeah. So here you see the settings. So for example, if I do start, you will see the crosshair here on my screen. So let me move. Oh, yeah, it's red.
Yes. Well, if we then switch back to the capture,
there you don't see it.
It's not there. You see? So that's the difference. So it's actually applied on the panel, and it doesn't register on the PC or in the signal or whatever.
Exactly. So here you have different presets as well. You can move it slightly, stuff like that. You also have different colors. So for example, you can have it in white if that's what you prefer. Yeah. Depends on the game probably. If you have a lot of bright areas in the game, you might prefer red here. So yeah.
All right, and I see also refresh rate on the top right. So this is, you can actually display the refresh rate
of your monitor. So that's another way to check if your refresh rate is correct in your settings.
Yes. What refresh rate your panel is actually running at the moment.
So for example, if I switch this on, now I see 240 in the corner of my screen.
It's not being captured. You guys on the stream don't see it. Maybe, I mean, with the camera. You can even decide where you want to show it. So you have their location, so you can
if
actually
you switch it on.
Yeah, if you want it somewhere else, even customized.
If you want to have it in the middle of your screen, go ahead.
Yes. And the alarm clocks, you have some presets you can do. For example, you can set multiple alarm clocks. Also the location there, so it'll be on the screen or not. And the tools, maybe you can cover?
Yeah, maybe split window first, so you can have different split windows, so you can organize different programs on your screen more easily. So you see a lot of different programs, different layouts, etc. If you go to tools, you have some more settings also for mouse, keyboard, power settings, etc. Magnifier, so if you forgot your glasses to work.
Can you enable that? Because that's quite a funny feature, right?
Yeah, let me see. See?
So this actually does show up on the stream. There you go. So
I can make everything.
I've seen pictures of it. I mean, at the moment, I think it's focused on the. Is it center of the screen? I don't know.
I think I can just move to the side.
Yeah. So if you, for example, really need to focus on something or hit sniper shots in the distance where you can only see a couple of pixels. This is kind of like, I've seen examples.
Like free scope, basically.
Yeah. It's kind of like something that can help you zoom in even more than you can in the game.
Here you also have some more monitor settings if you want to connect a wireless display, but also if you want to switch with multiple monitors. Also, some people connect both their monitor and the television to their PC. There you can also adjust this. Then
Mystic Light.
Because on the back of the monitor,
we can maybe
let's go to the main cam.
Here we go. Yes.
So as you can see right now, it's red.
Spot, guys.
I can also do some effects on
Rider.
it. Now you see. Yeah, Knight Rider indeed.
Knight Rider.
With some
nice. Yeah.
Also looks a bit like Knight Rider. Kind of when it was red.
Yeah.
Rainbow. Yeah, all different kinds of effects that you can select here. You can also synchronize it. So if you have other RGB components on your computer, you can also sync them up with them and all control them through.
Because of course the Mystic Light software allows you to sync all kinds of software, like the keyboard that I have here, which is doing the RGB dance, the GK50 low profile. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I went full RGB on this one. So yeah, and you can sync it up then with all the other products. So that's.
And if you don't like RGB, we also have this option to completely
turn it off.
Switch it off.
Yeah.
So now.
So you're not confronted with it if you don't want it.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's completely up to you.
Yeah.
For now, I'm going to leave it to static.
Yes.
And that's the Gaming OST 2.0.
Next, do we want to show like the physical monitor?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show some stuff about that.
Yeah. So it is hooked up with mouse, keyboard, etc. So we have some cables here.
Yes.
So let me give this to you so I don't knock it over.
I was thirsty. Okay, so you want to show maybe?
Yeah, let's first go to the front.
Yeah, do it on main cam, right? Or you want to do it?
We can do it on main cam.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the panel itself, it has very slim bezels, right? So
yeah, very slim bezels. Looks really nice, I think. You can also change the height.
Yeah.
You can turn it easily.
Tilt it. Yeah.
Tilt it, exactly. Let me turn it further. If we go to the back of the monitor, here you have the control for OSD. Yeah. If you're not using the software version, you can also do it on this. Yeah. Very important note, by the way, if you want to use Gaming OSD through software, connect your monitor through USB to your computer, because that's how the computer can control the settings of the monitor. Yeah. So talking about the USB, let's go to the connectors. Oh, I accidentally switched it off.
Maybe we need this one for this. Okay, let's see if we can capture it. Here we go.
So right now we have 3 cables connected. That is the USB cable. So this is also the one you need for Gaming OSD, but also the USB hub. Yeah. Because on this side you can also find 3 USB ports. So easy, for example, to hook up mouse, keyboard, USB key, whatever you want.
Or charge your phone.
Yeah, also possible. Yeah. Then right now we have it connected through DisplayPort right here. You have 2 HDMI connectors. It's a little bit hard to see, maybe.
Maybe if I can bring it. If I do this.
We tilt it a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
is there enough light? I don't know. It's a bit dark, a bit shadowy. Yeah. Anyway.
So you see 2 HDMI connectors. You also can connect your headphone there if you want. And there you also see the Type-C connector.
Yes.
So maybe we can demonstrate that. Let me put this aside again.
Yep.
Let me adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. So we can just drag out the display port cable here. There we go. It also has a nice cable management hole.
Yes.
In the monitor stand, which is quite convenient, so you don't have tangle up cables of mouse, keyboard, etc. And then I have a very nice cable here. Let me first show it in front. And this is Type-C to Type-C, and this can actually carry the DisplayPort signal. So if I connect this to the monitor right there, and then I connect it to, in this situation, I have to move it a little bit because I'm too far from the computer.
I'll move the camera for you as well.
And then I can connect it on the other side to the graphics card. So for this, of course, you need USB Type-C on your graphics card as well. Yeah. So now I'm using an RTX 2080 inside our Trident X computer. And now we're also getting our DisplayPort signal.
So you're going to continue on that right now? You're going to leave it like this for the rest of the stream?
Yeah, why not? Okay. There we go.
So if I now beat you on Quake Live,
I'll blame the cable.
Yes, I was going to say that. Hashtag blame the cable. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, so right now connected through USB.
Yep.
So it's DisplayPort support. So you can also, for example, use G-Sync and stuff like that using the USB Type-C cable.
Yeah.
So cool new feature. Of course, your graphics card needs USB Type-C support for this. Yeah. It's not just you can plug it into any Type-C port. No. So maybe you have a notebook with Type-C, but that might only be for
or your motherboard or your case might have a Type-C. That might actually be normal USB, not actually display Type-C.
Yeah, because here the graphics card will also transfer DisplayPort signal over Type-C.
Yes.
And that's not possible with any Type-C port.
That's required for this to work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's the monitor. So maybe get into practice because we have some Quake setup.
Yeah. Before we do that, by the way, maybe another giveaway?
That's a good idea.
Let's do that.
So if you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider. The bot will also spam a direct link to the giveaway. Can you go to main maybe?
I can.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we are again.
There we go.
So I think we'll do one more winner now, then play a couple of games of Quake, and draw another winner.
Yeah. Abi.
Abi, congratulations. You're the next winner of $20 Steam wallet code.
Yes.
We will email it to you in the coming days. If you haven't participated yet, please do so. If you're already entered in the giveaway, no need to enroll again.
Yeah. You only need to do it once per stream.
Exactly.
All right.
So let's play some Quake.
Let's do that.
So we have a very...
I think we're going to do a split screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I still need to start it up.
That's there already on our desktop.
Is it? Oh, here we go. Oh, you need your Red Bull, man.
Exactly.
It enhances your response time, doesn't it?
I don't need Red Bull with this monitor.
No, that's probably true. You probably don't need any benefits to beat me in this game. Just as a disclaimer, I used to play Quake 3, and I mean single player, arena, and that's a long time ago.
Why play Quake single player? It's like one of the best multiplayer games.
I didn't have friends to play. This is back when the internet was, dial-in, dial-up.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember that time.
It was that time. I'm that old. Yeah. I am actually that old. So yeah. Let's see what we can do.
I just launched a server, so you should be able to see it. It's called MSI Gaming.
Match browser. There we go. Join match.
Nico is saying, I wasn't here all the time. How do I know if I won? If you receive a game code, then you won. Or you can see it back later on YouTube. There you can also see if you won or not.
All right. Let us know if the game sound is working, by the way.
Yeah. Should be okay, but...
Hello.
Hello.
I got transported. Oh. Thought we already begun.
No, you have to wait. So as you can see in Quake, my settings are also set to very low, so I don't have any distractions. That's how I prefer to play most games.
Mine are not, because Mike configured mine, and he wanted to give me maximum...
You can turn them down if you want to. You said you like textures.
I'm fine. It's okay. I'm just making up excuses already.
I figured. You're going down, man.
I was panicking. I don't even know what buttons to press, man.
The right ones.
I'm mashing buttons on this. Oh,
I knew it.
You got
I knew you would peek.
See, this is I'm a CS:GO player, so I'm very prone to start peeking around corners. I'm not really into the timing of this game, so it's quite difficult for me. See, Mike is an excellent aimer. I didn't even damage him for a single point there.
Oh, they're placing bets in chat.
I'm sorry?
Who plays bets, they're asking.
Oh, I wouldn't bet on me, to be honest.
I wouldn't either.
It's
unless you want to lose your money, then.
Exactly. It's dangerous. I really don't know how to play this game.
You need to practice, it's a cool game. It's a bit faster in CS:GO, right?
Oh, man. I'm just peeking corners here, and I'm not supposed to be doing this. Is not the game to do that.
No, it's not Counter-Strike.
No, it's not a tactical shooter. This.
It can be quite tactical.
It's more about getting the timings and the techniques. I guess.
That's true. Oh, that was a nice one.
See, you already shot me by the time I figure out where you are.
Ah, there you hit me as well.
I'm gonna just use the gauntlet. Where are all the health bars?
Health bar? You can see it in the bottom.
I need to... No, I mean, like, how can I heal? I'm low.
You need bandages.
Where are all the armor shards and stuff? Ah!
You have to practice rocket jumping.
Yeah.
Makes the game a lot easier.
See, that's one of the mechanics I have not mastered.
Just shoot a rocket underneath you and jump at the same time.
I know. It's just the timing. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, in theory it's so easy, right?
That's the thing, yeah. You make it look easy.
It's also faster than the jump pads usually.
Oh.
Well, there you are.
See, I'm peeking corners again.
I noticed.
I might get lucky though, once or twice.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
I thought you would peek on the other side.
No.
Misguessed.
Ah.
That was predictable.
See, that's the
oh,
thing.
double rail. Hello.
Ooh. Oh. I'm terrible. How many rounds do we need to? Do I need to suffer?
I'm not sure actually. I think it's like 10 kill limit or something, or 10-minute limit. That's yeah. I'm not sure. Something like that. Not very long.
I will admit right off the start, this hands down, you will beat me in every round in this.
You might kill me
I
once.
know. No, we tried yesterday.
It's not
we
impossible.
Practiced. I think I got close once or twice, and that was with a bit of lucky timing as well, where I caught you like in the back, and you were not aware that I was actually there. Yeah, and you saw me later. Oh wow. Impressive. Jesus.
Oh, I should have
I'm still trying to align my shots, and you're already. Oh, see, I can only get one hit in. That's it. Mike is really that good at this kind of game.
I love arena shooters.
To be fair, it's this and I think Rocket. Well, this kind of game, but this and Rocket League are some of your favorite games, right?
Yeah, actually, for arena shooters, it's more Unreal Tournament. That's what I played a lot in the past. Not really Quake that much.
Yeah.
But of course, you benefit from Unreal Tournament skills in Quake as well.
I was gonna say, how similar are these two for you? Are they like really different, or are they?
Yeah, in terms of
similar?
mechanics, they're pretty different. But in terms of speed and raw aim, of course, it helps.
Yeah. It
helps, in that sense, it helps a lot actually.
Oh.
So yeah.
I thought I hit you more than I actually did. So that's a problem.
You did
also,
hit me
I
a couple
think.
of times.
How is your sensitivity, by the way?
It's extremely low. You can go to main cam, then people can see me move my mouse.
Maybe we can do that quickly. There we go. Yeah. So here we go. He's really swiping like a full length.
Yeah, I use like half the desk for this.
So I thought you had like really high sensitivity because your reaction is quite quick. So I assumed at first that you had a high sensitivity because that would enable you to aim so quickly. Although it would make it more difficult to aim accurately.
Accurately, exactly.
Yeah. But now I do get why you drink so much Red Bull. My cousin of mine used to be really, really good at a mod of Quake 3.
Which one?
Called 3-Wave. It was kind of like 3-way capture the flag, I think.
That's cool. I really like capture the flag in Unreal Tournament. That's what I played most.
Oh yeah.
5v5 insta-gip, capture the flag actually.
Yeah. But it was...
Where did you go?
I tried rocket jumping, didn't work.
Let's go back to the to the game view. Now they can only see me swiping my mouse over the desk.
That's right. Yeah, sorry guys.
I will wait with killing.
Let's see. Yeah. I actually didn't realize that you can like zoom in with these things. Oh.
They actually did hurt me quite bad.
Peter, get one kill, bud. I'm trying. I honestly am. It's hard if it's not a game you're used to. And honestly, I don't game nearly as much as I used to. And I know this all sounds like I'm just making excuses. And to be fair, I kind of am. Because I feel a little bit embarrassed.
Can imagine.
Oh man. It's hard to play against somebody who well, I don't want to say masters the game, but is at least way better at it.
That was a good hit. I was just too slow around the corner.
The thing is, I'm very used to playing based on sound. So that's also what I'm doing now, or at least trying to do, where I'm trying to listen, like, where is he compared to my position? And it's very difficult, but...
I don't really do that much, because I also have, like, my headset is just half on my head.
Ah, crap.
The push is real.
Ooh. 68. I got close.
You got
close. Closer than I've been this stream. But again, I think it's a bit lucky as well.
2, 1, fight.
Ooh, that was a really good hit, huh?
Oh. Oof.
I saw you.
I don't know where to go. I was just running up against the wall. Like, is there a hole here I could go into? Come on, let me go.
Where can I hide?
Yeah. Oh, well, wow. All right, so you have, is that the accuracy there? The 71%?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
With that weapon, that specific weapon.
All right, okay. So I got 30. See, I'm missing way too many.
You can also see the damage
Holy
you done.
crap.
1.1k for you, 3.2k.
Yeah, so my ADR is really bad. This is a different map, right?
Yeah, it's a different map.
Oh. Can we do Gauntlet only?
Round begins.
Gauntlet was a pretty cool map in our tournament, the old one.
1, fight.
There you go. Oh! That was a sweet hit.
Were you zoomed in for that?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you ever use the zoom function?
Very rarely.
Interesting.
Do you?
I tried it because I thought it might help me, you know, get more accurate shots, but...
I sometimes just spam the button for fun, rather than really using it in the game that much.
So it becomes like a weapon switch in CSGO.
Yeah.
It's more like, yeah.
It's more like that indeed.
Cool. But I mean, this game, well, I want to say the original...
Here I used it.
Yeah, the original Quake 3 game is quite old, right?
Yeah, definitely. So this is like a more... Oh! That was a painful one. Oh, I hit you right in the face with my rock. Yeah, yeah, the original Quake 3 Arena, that's where this is based.
Sadly, it was a Valve game, so support was non-existent. I still play Arena Shooter every now. Oh, Arena Shooter, yeah. We looked at games we could do.
Like what benefits a high refresh rate most.
Yeah, and it needs to be kind of a really twitchy kind of like shooter, I guess.
Very fast.
Chew on my rocket. But yeah, and so we looked at some of them, and of course everybody wants to play the game that they are somewhat, they know somewhat how to play, because they'll feel more comfortable on it. I lost this stream.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Next time we'll do Rocket League, okay?
Yeah. Wait, where? So here's the thing also, I'm looking at these maps like, where the frick did he go? Where can you go from there, and where can he come from? Yesterday during practice, he was just jumping all around me, showing up from angles where I just thought, how did you get there? He said, I just went around, just walked around to the other side. See, now he's teleported somewhere. I have no friggin' clue where he is. I might just run into him face first somewhere.
Probably.
That sounds likely.
Yeah.
Sounds legit. Alright, I'll try and not run away from you, because that's boring.
That's indeed true. Running and hiding.
Yes, I'm really good at that part.
Everyone has his talents.
That's right. I mean, the thing is, if it's 1v1 on a map like this, it's not a huge map, but it is quite big if it's just 2 people.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's
quite big for
apologize
2
if it's a bit boring for you guys, because there's a lot of running and jumping and shit, but not much action.
Oh, did I miss that one? That was a bad
Did you
shot.
just miss a shot?
Yeah, and it should have been
you
quite
should be
an
ashamed
easy
of yourself.
one, actually. I am ashamed by that one.
Go stand in the
Oh,
corner.
you were just gone.
Gone where?
I don't know where you went, but...
With the wind. Oh! See, this is the thing I'm doing. I'm dumb, because I keep chasing you. And you know exactly how to counter that, so I really shouldn't be doing that.
Oh, there you are. There my accuracy was not very good. Should have had that.
Yes, you should have.
Oh.
Ooh.
Red wins the round.
Oh!
Huh? Did I?
I don't know, who's red? You are red.
Did you kill yourself or something?
No?
Did I kill you with that last hit?
No, there's a time difference. There's a timer in the round.
Oh, then
I think we. Oh man.
Is it then who did most damage? Maybe.
How much? Yeah. How much HP did you have left there?
I don't know. I actually didn't really
crap.
pay that much attention.
I think that might have been the closest I've gotten so far.
Ooh.
Oh, dude, look at those Twitch reactions. Oh.
Oh, it was 99 versus
there you go.
69. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
it's not far off, especially because you, at the last few seconds you actually hit me, so I might have been at an advantage
But the timer
earlier in that round.
I'm not sure what the timer is set to, because it's not the timer that I see on the left.
No, left top, yeah, I think so. Oh no, wait, that's actually, that's adding up actually.
Let's
See,
watch
there, I
split
actually
screen
didn't
so they
even
can also
see-
see you play. That's cool. Oh, that was a direct hit.
I didn't even see where that came from, that first railgun hit.
Oh, did you see that one? Where are you?
What the fuck? I don't know. You keep asking me where I am, I have no idea. I'm right here, that's all I can say.
I expect you to come somewhere there.
Did you?
Oh, I was right. Let's go to split screen so they can see you play.
Oh, sorry. Did I? Oh, it's full screen. Yeah, sorry.
There. That's a good view.
So you guys can see me panicking.
It's always good to see. Hey, I don't want to chew that rocket.
So in this game, do you move around just running, or do you jump all the time?
I jump a lot with my rocket launcher, especially to if I don't want to use the jump pad or the stairs, then I just rocket jump
Honestly,
to the next floor.
if I jump all the time, I feel like I want to disable the sound of the guy just keeps going.
Oh, yeah, that's indeed. Can be annoying. After a while, you get used to it.
Well, yeah, but no. No, leave me alone.
Oh, the chase is real. Ooh, that was painful.
Oh.
Only 53 left. That was a direct hit with your rocket.
Yeah.
In the end.
Come on, pro gamers. Well, I hope it's clear by now that I am not. Most definitely not.
I knew you would peek there. Oh! Hello.
Ah! Oh, shotgun really isn't that favorable. Wow. See, I'm just switching weapons. I don't even have any idea.
2
Ah! What are you doing?
Coming to hunt you down.
How you doing?
Oh, there you are.
Ooh. See, that's the thing. I'm still trying to determine where you are, how best to line up the shot. You've already shot me. That's unfair.
Oh.
I kind of just rocket jumped you, did I?
You did indeed.
Oh my god.
I just jumped and you shot a rocket underneath me.
Now, see, if I was really good, I would be able to capitalize on that. The fact that you followed that trajectory. But unfortunately, I'm not. So I wasn't. Because I know, I've seen people play like that. So they would hit somebody with a rocket and then they would go, oh, I've got you now.
Oh, that was a bad one. Oh. I expect you to be somewhere here. I don't see you.
No, I'm not. Oh.
Oh.
Did I kill you?
Yeah, but it didn't count because I killed you faster.
Oh!
I think that's why it doesn't count your score.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I do have one death, but it still counts the round for me because I had you before. Oh.
Well, at least I did kill you once.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's that. Jesus.
Was that a good hit, the last one?
Yes. Oh!
Nice.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1, fight.
No.
The railgun is my favorite gun.
Do you tend to keep to the high ground as well, I guess?
Not always. That's what people often expect you to do. So, very often you can surprise people by going underneath them. I knew it.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to settle for killing you once, but not winning the round because you killed me before my rocket killed you.
Yep.
I think
it was a good shot, at least. Oh.
Oh, what the? What? See, that's unfair.
I just saw a glimpse of you there. Close enough.
Because I can hear you, but I have no idea where you are. See, for some reason my rockets are just nibbling you. Oh. Yeah. I think we can conclusively say. Oh, actually, I had a higher hit rate there. Look at that, 29% versus 25.
Yeah, that's better.
I mean, you know, give me a couple of years.
I'm actually surprised. I apparently used rocket launcher mode.
Yeah.
Usually that's real gun for me.
Well, probably because I used it a lot this time around.
I know also why my percentage is lower. I use it for rocket jumping.
Oh, yeah.
And it registers as firing a rocket, but not hitting.
There you go.
Oh, I don't know this map.
I have no idea.
Might be very big.
For you, they all look the same, don't they? Like the textures.
I'm just afraid it's a little big for two, but we'll see. We'll just meet in the middle, okay?
But let's just say you have the IPS monitor, so your colors are better, which is an advantage.
That's definitely an advantage.
This is helping you win. The odds are stacked in your favor.
Yeah, because you cannot hide behind the refresh rate, because you're also running 240.
Am I? I don't know.
Yeah, you are.
I'm playing on a 240 Hz refresh rate monitor.
Better rocket jump. You can feel it, right? If you're in the right setting or not.
Oh man.
Oh, I should have had that.
Oh. See, I was expecting you to pop up somewhere else.
Oh, there you are.
Hello.
I just got lasered off there.
Yes. My lightning pushed you off. I'm also used to a small mouse pad, so I only make small wrist movements compared to your
I'm
swiping.
used to using all my desk for aiming.
Exactly. You're one of those players who really, yeah, you shouldn't be drinking Red Bull or something while you're
I've
gaming.
killed a couple of keyboards by knocking over mostly Coca-Cola.
Knew you were there.
Ooh.
Hello. Can I kill him? Can I
Yeah.
Yes!
Ah! Surprise, am I back?
Oh, I actually got an achievement. First frag unlocked.
How much did you have, by the way?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe chat can say.
All of a sudden you were behind me.
I was just blinded because...
So you're actually in the lead. That was the first kill.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, what the hell, man. Alright, well, that's it. I'm done. It won't get better than that. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, that was a good one. So mission accomplished for today, right?
Yeah. Wow, I'm so happy now. That's
you
it,
can
I'm
sleep
done.
comfortably tonight. Oh.
Oh, I can't even hit you like this, and you're hitting me with the... There we go. This is revenge, is it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just going full frontal at it.
Oh, you can't see my HP apparently. Hello. Not a single point of damage there.
Not a single.
Not a single point. No connecting. Oh my god.
After that kill, exactly. I'm going 100%. You're going down now.
I get the achievement and I retire. People in the chat are saying that's right. I mean, you gotta quit while you're ahead, right?
You just did a Nico Rosberg.
I don't.
Like,
yeah, I don't.
Winning once and chickening out.
I don't make the rules. I just work here. But yeah, that's pretty brutal playing against somebody like that.
This map's pretty big.
Yeah, I really don't know where you are. I'm just walking around cluelessly. I really don't know. Oh, there you are. No, no, leave me alone. I'm trying to switch to the same weapon. I don't even know how to do that. Ah.
They also noticed in chat. Peter gets the achievement and retires.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that was the idea, but yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that.
Oh, that was a bad miss. That's
what? Where? Oh, there you are.
I am.
Oh, you meant to do that. Oh. Waiting for me to pop up again, huh?
Definitely. Then I'll just hunt you down.
Oh. Nope, my timing is off.
Plasma gun.
I'm using the mouse wheel to switch. You told me earlier during practice that you actually have like key binds or something.
I use keys for that.
So I have no idea. Nope, nope. Oh, I thought I hit you more than that, to be honest. Wow. Well, I might have hit you a lot of times, but probably
yeah, but
not
barely.
for a lot of damage.
Yeah. Rockets were too far off.
1, fight.
Rocket jumping, eh?
Coming for you. You had the same idea.
Get away from me. Oh, low ammo.
I had the same problem there. Eat my rockets.
I had a nade launcher. Oh, is he zooming in on you, Peter? I don't know, is he?
Yeah, on this map, because it's so large, I sometimes zoom to the other side of the map.
There you go.
With my railgun. Here I use it a lot more than...
Chat, if you have suggestions for a handicap that Mike should have to make it more equal.
Play with the game controller? And
It's not Quake with RTX, no, Mr. Flong.
Maybe high sensitivity, that would hurt my aim badly.
Yeah.
Yes, I cannot aim with it.
Unplug his monitor.
That will work. You only need Type-C cable now.
Yeah. Oh my god. This is going to end horribly.
Where are you?
I don't know, where are you?
I'm in the middle. I'm all the time somewhere in the middle.
I don't even know how to get to the middle. Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
What? Can I actually hit you at that range?
I think that's too far.
I see. Oh.
Change the wheels refresh rate to 60. That would help. Stand in one place. I'm not sure if that would cut it. 60.
I think after this game we gotta call it quits anyway, because of the time.
Ooh, that was a hit as well, right? I'm coming for you.
Of course you are.
Begins in 3, 2, 1, fight.
Are you trying to melee attack me?
Sorry?
Are you trying to melee attack me?
No, I would never do that. That would just be a dick move, wouldn't it?
Indeed. That would be rude.
Why am I not hitting you at this range? I don't get it.
How is that possible? Hey, that's a real weapon.
Is it?
Oh yeah, let's go!
Oh. Well, I think we can safely say that I'm no match for Mike in this game.
We can try Unreal Tournament next time, good?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that was a good hit.
Oh, we both had 60 remaining.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys.
For today, at least.
I'm
so next time Unreal Tournament?
Or Counter-Strike.
Yeah, or Counter-Strike.
Or maybe what's out next? What's one of the coming up games? We'll have to see, indeed. Anyway, safe to say, Mike, this one's yours. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well played.
You
played.
killed me once, so congratulations with that.
I'm surprised. I was
expecting... You killed me 2 times actually, and 1 time you won the round.
Well, yeah, true. But I mean, I wasn't expecting any wins, to be honest.
It was good. Yeah. You had a few good shots with the railgun.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's about timing in this game as well, right? And accuracy. So well done. Anyway,
time for our last winner.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Good that you remind me. Let's see. So one more. Last giveaway.
Last chance for today, at least. So next week, new giveaway.
Yes.
So then we have some more.
Plenty of new codes then. Come on, draw the winner. All right, here we go. This one's yours.
Hope it's an easy name.
Oh, no nickname.
Boy. No nickname. Okay.
Well, there's no nickname.
Congratulations, MD.Tesneem.
Firdaus.
I
would just say Firdaus.
Something like that. Congratulations, you also won a $20 Steam wallet code. So we'll email it to you in the coming days. GPSH, thank you as well for watching. I hope you liked our Quake encounter.
Yeah, I hope you guys also got a lot of information about this monitor and about the benefits of high refresh rates, low response. No?
Low response times.
Low response times, yeah, that's it. And also that IPS is no longer just for color
image
accuracy
and
beautiful colors. It's also very much suitable for gaming and high refresh rates and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, definitely worth considering. Hope you guys can can join us next week as well.
Yeah.
I don't know for next week.
We don't have visual right now, but I can give some sneak peek. I'm trying to arrange some cool stuff from AMD. Let's hope it all goes well, because some things are tricky with...
It really depends if they can deliver it on time or not, I guess.
Coronavirus is delaying a lot of stuff.
I think we said this at the beginning of the stream as well. So it's a chain of things that needs to work for delivery and production to be able to commence. So yeah, this coronavirus is currently really having an impact on pretty much everything. So
we're trying our best.
Yeah, let's see if they can deliver. Let's hope so. It would be cool.
So something really cool from AMD. We'll also try to get Martijn from AMD here.
Oh God.
To give some more information about that. So if you have any questions,
make sure you write them down somewhere. Exactly. You can ask him there.
And if we cannot arrange next week, then we'll make sure to invite him somewhere quickly after.
Yeah.
We're going to try for next week, so make sure to tune in. Same place, same time, and see you then.
See you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for now.
Yeah. See ya. Bye. Miss you.